What's up, guys? Thank you if you're watching. Thank you so much. This is the first episode of the Thunderbird Podcast. I'm Adon. I got my boy Avery right here. We're co-hosting this thing. And so basically, this is just a show, a weekly podcast show talking about everything NFL. We're going to be doing like weekly breakdowns of the games. I think week 17 just passed, so we're going to be entering into the playoffs. And we're going to be discussing any big news. You know, obviously there's a lot of coaching changes that have happened recently, so we're going to be discussing that. The playoffs are literally this Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to be discussing that too. We're going to do a recap of some of the Week 17 games, and let's get right to it.
Awesome. I can pull up the games on my phone, the Week 17 games. What happens every week? Like Don said, we just get into a weekly breakdown of each and every game that happened during the week, and then do our predictions for the next week. Excited for playoffs. All right.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's get into what we've been doing for quite some time, Adon. All right, ready? First game we're going to look at Week 17 is the Falcons-Buccaneers. Bucs won this 44-27. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers just have like the most momentum out of any NFC team right now. I mean, they've scored 40 back-to-back now. They're looking – I mean, listen, I know they haven't beat the Saints, and the Saints are basically the team to beat in that division. The Packers – in the division. The Packers, though, they're obviously the 1 seed. So, but I think the Buccaneers, like you've said before, if there's one team that have shown that they can actually take it to the Packers and actually whoop their ass, it is the Buccaneers.
The Bucs.
So they got the football team. So we're gonna see how they fare because I feel like the Buccaneers, besides like really the Saints and I guess kind of the Chiefs, we've never really seen like a super top tier like defense. And I think the football team have if anything, they have a much better defense than they do of an offense. But then in terms of the Falcons, I mean, the Falcons
they finished as the worst team in the NFC this year. Yeah, 4-12. But I mean, the thing about the Falcons is they're kind of an appealing franchise if you want to be a head coach. Because I mean, I think Matt Ryan can, take them back into the playoffs at the least. I think they can do that. But I know in the past, you and I have not agreed about that. Adon and I have not agreed about Matt Ryan and whether he should stay on the Falcons or not.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I've always had this opinion of certain quarterbacks, and there's certain quarterbacks in the league who I think are just similar, who I think they linger with the franchise too long. And they build this reputation as, they're underappreciated. And if they just had the right tools, they would be amazing. And there's 2 quarterbacks like that, Matthew Stafford from the Lions. And as we said, Matt Ryan. I think, honestly, Matt Ryan, to me, is probably one of the most, if the phrase above average was in the dictionary, he would be the picture for that. Because he's good. He's really good. But I've never understood why the Falcons have stuck so long. First off, after the Super Bowl loss, I get he took you guys to the Super Bowl. Let's stick with him for another year. But then it was like a lot of years. And now look at them. And now whoever ends up coaching this team, they're getting into a good situation, but if I was a coach getting into that team and I look at that roster, let's be honest, the quarterback is the most important position.
Of course.
And you got Julio, you got Gurley, you got Calvin, you have some good defensive players peppered in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Matt Ryan to me has always felt like he's just been holding that team down. And I don't want this notion around the NFL fans that Matt Ryan is like this great quarterback. And,
he's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback, but he's not elite. Like, you can't.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, he's not elite. I mean, I wouldn't place him in my top 5, but I mean, I could place him in like the higher top 10s, which is solid. I mean, the thing is I'm not going to be terribly disappointed if he goes to another team, but I'm not going to be disappointed at all if he also stays on the Falcons, because for like the past, I want to say it's like 7 years now, he's put up 4,000 yards in each season. It's ridiculous. He's the only quarterback to have that streak of 4,000 yards over that course of time. I mean, you don't get that by just being, to me, like maybe I'd say he's a little bit above average. that's what I think.
Listen, okay, first off, that's always an illusion. It's just because he doesn't get injured mostly.
I mean, that is true. I mean, I can't really remember a time where Matt Ryan has been injured. That's a fair point.
It's true. I mean, he does feel like he really is. He is really one of the most durable quarterbacks like that's in the league. But look at where they are even when he's there. Like they use, like you said, the worst record in the NFC with all that talent. Listen, if you're an elite quarterback, you put Mahomes on the Chiefs. Come on, come on. I'm not saying obviously Mahomes is kind of like an unrealistic like expectation for any quarterback. I mean, what if God was the quarterback?
Well, I mean, the thing is Mahomes is. I mean, as great as Mahomes is, I don't think he would turn that like him alone would turn around that franchise. The defense has quite some issues. I think that's like been one of the biggest factors. Is early in the season when the Falcons were allowing huge comebacks, I mean, they were scoring points on offense. Defense just has to do their part. So that's why that's been the biggest.
Here's the thing.
Okay, let's hear.
My thing is that the Chiefs, if you look, the Chiefs defense has for me personally, the Chiefs have really never been known for their defense. There've been players on
sure.
I'm talking about back in like mid 2010s, Derek Johnson, Eric Berry, who else you got there? Don Terry Poe. Like they've always had like they've got great key defensive players, but through this new Mahomes era, like their defense they've been all right. They're not Ravens defense, you know what I'm saying? They're not like not Steelers. They're not like Dolphins.
No, Steelers defense is good.
Steelers defense is good. But I don't know. I just feel like Matt Ryan is if they draft, because do you know what draft position they are?
I think they're number 4 or 5.
Okay, well that means they have chances they're probably not going to get Fields or Lawrence, obviously.
Actually, I think they're number 3. But
so then here my thing is, if you're the third pick in the draft, theoretically, let's just say they are.
Yeah.
You're the third pick in the draft, and Zach Wilson is up there, or Trey Lance, or Mac Jones.
Actually, I'm so sorry. They are number 4. I'm thinking about it right now. I can confirm right now. They're
That's even better. I mean,
they're number 4.
So if you got Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. I mean, you are gonna have options at a young quarterback. And Matt Ryan has gone to 1 Super Bowl. I will say this: Matt Ryan, he can win playoff games. I'll give you that. He does. He went like rarely are the Falcons, when they do make the playoffs, rarely are they eliminated in like the first round. You know what I mean?
That is true.
They're usually like in like 1 seed, or top 2 seeds, or they win the wild card game and they lose in the divisional round sometimes. But Matt Ryan at this point, because let's say that team is only getting younger, right? And the league is only getting a little younger.
Bit. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the league's definitely getting younger.
Yeah. So I just think if Zach Wilson's there, I mean.
So okay, I think okay. So if they were to draft Zach Wilson at 4, I think I would support that decision, but I would have him sit under Matt Ryan a year, because Matt Ryan is still great, and that's a quarterback that can definitely teach. I think an ideal situation when you draft a rookie quarterback, I think the ideal situation is to not them have to start immediately, but to have them sit under a knowledgeable quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers sat for I think 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Before getting his time. Patrick Mahomes sat for a year under Alex Smith. Tom Brady sat under Drew Bledsoe, and I think it's better if.
Yeah, I mean, I do think.
Yeah, I think it's better if a rookie quarterback.
That is the winning formula right now with rookie quarter. Because let's be honest, like I think almost every team, they kind of know what happened with Mahomes. I mean, even the Chargers. You look at the Chargers, my favorite team. You look at the Chargers, I mean, before the season, Anthony Lynn was gonna sit down Herbert for a year and just have him be like sort of an apprentice to Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, a bad situation happens where that's not possible, but it worked out in our favor. But obviously, you see coaches trying to hop on that trend of, what? Look at what happened with Mahomes. They sat him down for a year, and he ended up becoming the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen. And so many coaches are doing that. Now, listen, I'm saying that you don't draft like a Zach Wilson or Trey Lance and then just have him start. No. I do think the Falcons should like have them. They should have Matt Ryan start over the rookie for next year, and obviously depending on whether they're honestly for me it doesn't really matter if they're good or not next year. I think no matter what, 2022 you have your rookie quarterback starting, and Matt Ryan is either somewhere.
He'll probably be on another team if he has one of these upcoming rookies.
Yeah, who knows where he'll be? But I think that is the main plan. This is what I would want them to do. Will they do it? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? I think the smart thing to do is to draft a rookie, have him sit, and then that's when you start building for the future.
Yeah. But to go back to the Falcons-Bucks game, so you talked a little bit about the Buccaneers. I agree in the sense that they're I'd give the Packers a little edge just because they're 13-3. They've been just killing it. But other than that, the Buccaneers are at the least the second hottest team in the NFC right now. The past 2 weeks, 91 total points in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty lights out. I for a while during the season, I was disappointed in the Bucs a little bit because of their record. I mean, they've had a positive record the whole season. I was disappointed because there was more potential at hand. I can't. They should not have gotten swept by the Saints, and not only swept by the Saints, but blown out in one of those games.
Yeah.
So they have a freaking Madden Ultimate Team, man. Brady, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, like 3
Gronkowski.
Yeah, 3 good running backs. Some of them are Ronald Jones. You could argue is a great running back in the league right now. Yep, Gronkowski. The defense, great defensive players. That's a freaking Madden Ultimate Team, man. Yeah. And for me, I see 11-5 as a disappointment, but that's because they struggled earlier on. The last 2 weeks, I've been really impressed with them, and I like that they're starting to get back into shape and in this Madden Ultimate Team mode later into the season, and now riding it into the playoffs. And then when they're going to play the friggin' Washington football team, it's going to be a steamroll.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a steamroll.
The Washington defense is actually kind of good. I'll give them that. I hate to admit it as an Eagles fan, but the Washington football team defense it's kind of good. I'll give them that. But the thing is, the reason why I think it's going to be a blowout is because I see like the Washington defense kind of like the Bears most of the season. Everybody knows the Bears have had a great defense the whole season. The Bears defense has never been bad. But the reason why they've gotten blown out in a couple games is because the offense is so bad that the Bears defense just has to stay on the field for almost the entire game, and then that's why they get points scored on them. That's what I think is going to happen with the Bucs football team game. I think the Washington defense is just going to have to be out on the field for a long time, and then from there it's just going to be points on points for the Bucs. Yeah, but that's what I'm kind of breaking down from the. I mean, we didn't talk about the whole Bucs Falcons game specifically much, but just kind of the fact that in this game the Bucs looked really hot. Scoring 44 points. I like that. So, Yeah, we'll move on to the next game. Yeah.
Next game.
All right. I liked this one. Cowboys Giants.
Oh, I mean, this was the
I
game
love
I'm about this
sorry to
game
all you Cowboys fans out there, but screw you.
I mean, honestly, listen, you're the Eagles fan, even though I hate the Cowboys too, but you're the Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Avery.
Yeah, so you know, one thing I was almost worried is almost the correct word to say, because the reason I say that is because the Cowboys were on a 3-game winning streak up until this game.
Yeah.
And I was worried that the Cowboys were going to win this game, and I was worried that the Eagles, I mean, not that I would have been mad that the Eagles beat Washington this week, but I was worried that we were going to win, and then the Cowboys were going to beat the Giants, and the Cowboys were going to make the playoffs, and then we were going to hear all this, oh, we them boys, we're going to go to the Super Bowl, we're great, you know, we're good. I was worried we're going to hear that, and I was prepared for it. I was like, oh gosh, oh, no, I don't want to hear it, and thank goodness for the Giants to silence any of that nonsense. Look, the Cowboys offense just got crumbled for most. They got held down for most of the game. The Giants defense held them in check for most of the game, which is really good. The Giants defense is pretty solid and kind of, I hate to admit, but next year could be even better. It could be a top defense.
I mean, Leonard Williams is a tank.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, they've got a bunch of good name players. Their DBs, James Bradbury, Logan Ryan, both really solid DBs. Yeah, as you said, Leonard Williams. I think they have Blake Martinez too as their linebacker.
Blake Martinez, yeah.
Yeah, so all they got to do is just add some more additions, and the Giants defense could be pretty nasty next year. And then get some real receivers. I mean, Sterling Shepard is their best receiver. Come on, he's a number 2 or a number 3 receiver on pretty much any other team. You know, boost that wide receiver position. Giants could be pretty good next year. I hate to admit it, but it's kind of the truth. The Cowboys, on the other hand, Andy Dalton actually did play good the last like four game stretch, but they, you know, they were held down for quite a bit and almost came back on the Giants. But I think with Dak Prescott, things might have been different. Cowboys might have made the playoffs. So, but they were Andy Dalton, quarterback away. Oh, and a bad defense. Oh, Cowboys defense was awful. Thank goodness. But yeah, what do you think of the Giants Cowboys game?
But I mean, I thought the game, like most Cowboys games that mean something, it was riddled with controversy. First off, you know, the fumble.
Oh yes, the butt recovery.
Yes, the butt recovery. I mean, we had a butt fumble. And
yeah, 2012 we get the butt fumble. 2021 we get the butt recovery.
And both of them involved the New York team. Like
yes, exactly. Yes, they did. Against the rival too. The Jets were playing the Patriots.
This game was extremely entertaining. I was entertained.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I thought this game was extremely entertaining from because I mean, obviously I was rooting for the Giants. I wanted the Giants to win the division personally.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the Cowboys, and I didn't want a team that doesn't even have a name in the playoffs. But oh well, the Eagles are garbage. We'll get into that later.
I wanted the most competent team of that division to, to win the division, even though the competency is not a common trait in any of those teams. But I really wanted the Giants to win, but and they did. Obviously, we'll talk about the repercussions that happened later that prevented the Giants from making the playoffs. But this game was entertaining. I mean, Andy Dalton, I will say he was really good like the past 3 games. I mean, coming in, I thought the Cowboys were primed to win. Honestly, I mean, the Giants were kind of losing steam. They came off a loss to Baltimore, so I thought this was primed for the Cowboys to win. But Judge ended up being, I mean, you could see those shades of Belichick started to come in. You know what I mean? And he was an ex-Patriots.
Joe Judge was an ex-Patriots coach. Yeah.
And the Cowboys. I mean, listen, I hate them. So obviously, I was enjoying this to no end when all the calls were going against them, and I loved every second of it. I got to be honest, because I don't like the Cowboys, as you don't. But I
sorry
was nervous
to slander
because
all you Cowboys fans.
yeah, sorry, but
Just for future record, if there is something good to say about the Cowboys, I will say it. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I love the Eagles, but I'm not. I'm not
and I
biased.
will probably. Yeah, I am. But the Cowboys, the Cowboys, the Cowboys today. I mean, I know earlier in the season when Dak went down, and then they were
That
basically
was a
they
really
looked
bad
like they
injury.
were. That was a terrible injury, and prayers up to him. I
Yeah.
do wish him. He's probably that recovery is probably going strong now. But when he initially went down, everyone was hopping on Mike McCarthy to get fired because they were so bad. Like
I
immediately
mean,
right
that
after
defense
that.
was allowing over 30 points a game.
They were historically bad. But I do gotta hand it to them. I mean, Mike McCarthy and Andy Dalton. I mean, they're two veterans of the NFL. What can you say? They've been around for a long time, and so the combination. I'm not gonna say it was bound to work at some point, but it worked at the right time. The end of the
Yeah.
season, we are
Yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
division where you can play bad and still be at least have the second spot in the division. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how bad that division is. But
Yeah.
Andy Dalton looked lost. That last throw in that last drive to basically seal the game for the Giants.
Well,
Terrible read. But
that wasn't
I
okay. It
mean,
was a
listen, the
bad
Giants just
read.
came out and played hard. Are they going to be a better team? I opinion that Daniel Jones I was before the season. I thought he was a bad quarterback. I will say now he's kind of upgraded to a average quarterback.
I think he's
Still not good.
inconsistent. He's inconsistent
really
because
inconsistent.
Daniel
Yeah.
Jones can throw a good ball. He's
Yeah.
made some really good passes where I'm like, whoa. I mean, had he not tripped and stumbled against the Eagles back in week 7, he would have had like a freaking 85-yard touchdown or something. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. So he makes good plays, but then he also just makes really bad throws. He just got to be more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on Dan Jones has always been that he has the skill set, but he never has unleashed it. He's super tall. He has the size and build of Ben Roethlisberger. He has the arm strength of Joe Flacco, but he has like the football IQ of like Mark Sanchez, and that's always been
Yeah.
that's always been my
That's a
problem
good
with
way
him.
to sum up Daniel Jones right now.
Exactly. And then so for me, like that's all like I just feel like and this is the thing. I do see potential in him because before I him because he was turning the ball over. He was a turnover machine
He was.
last year and the beginning of this year. Like all he
Yeah.
did was just throw interceptions and fumble and all that stuff and da 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 da. But as soon as the season progressed, you saw, Daniel Jones progress. And I will say I saw it because I wasn't a hater of him, but I just was undermining him chance I saw because I just didn't think he was
Oh
that
yeah.
special of a quarterback.
Yeah.
I just didn't think he was that special. And now I listen, the Eagles don't sit Jalen Hurts. That we could probably we might be saying that the Giants are in the playoffs and that Daniel Jones somehow helped them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next year,
You'll hear it from me later about the Eagles game.
yeah.
I'm
sure
I
we
have
will.
quite the
Yeah.
rant.
I can't wait to hear it. But
Yeah.
the Giants next year, I agree with you. They're gonna be, especially that defense. That defense they got like 6 or 7 sacks on Dalton yesterday. Dalton he didn't even have time to think of throwing to somebody.
That's why
he was
that
under
last
pressure all day. And
yeah.
I think the defense has potential.
That last interception. I mean, he did make a little bit of a bad read, but he was kind of forced into it. I don't know if you saw. He was almost sacked when he threw that interception. So
yeah. He had some players in his face. So yeah. Man. So
yeah,
I expect big things for the Giants next year.
Yeah, me too. As much as I don't like to admit it, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I expect the Cowboys to be better too. Because I mean, Dak Prescott will be back. As much as I overrate Dak.
Does his contract? I think his contract runs out, right?
Yes, but they're probably gonna I think they'll re-sign him. I don't think Jerry Jones is
they might franchise tag him.
Isn't he already franchise tagged?
No, he's not franchise tagged. If they do franchise him, it's $37 million for 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, I think no matter what, Dak will be back with the Cowboys next year.
Personally. Yeah.
So I think as much as I hate to admit it, both the Giants and the Cowboys will be better teams next year.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the other team, the other game that involves New York, the Jets and the Patriots. 28-14 Patriots.
I mean, I don't have much to say just because I just feel like
it's this game had no playoff implications at all.
Yeah, I mean this game barely had any football implications, like just in terms of having any meaning.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'll say this. I mean, Cam Newton, I pretty much when I got into football, he was a rookie with the Panthers, 2011. Yeah. That's the year that I got into football.
I remember Cam Newton being drafted
with the Panthers, and I personally loved him. He was just the coolest quarterback I've ever seen. And that was from then on.
Oh yeah, back in that
where we are.
Yeah, back in that 2015 season. Oh, he was one of the most. That's one of the most fun times I've ever had watching a player. Cam Newton was such a fun guy to watch. I don't know if you heard, but I remember Cam Newton being drafted. And it sucks to see what's happened to him. And there's been reports that he's not going to be with the Patriots next year. I understand he, underplayed for the season, but I can't really excuse that the fact that he had more interceptions and touchdowns. That's inexcusable. But in his defense, a little bit, the receiving core for the Patriots, especially with Julian Edelman being gone for most of the season, was
garbage,
horrific. He didn't have much to work with. But I liked that in his last game, he balled out. Even if it's against the Jets, he balled out. He scored all the Patriots touchdowns for total. And I was glad to see him. If that, in the likelihood that is his last game with the Patriots, I'm glad to see that he balled out in that last game, even if it is the Jets,
Yeah, and I still think that Cam Newton, he has a future in the NFL. I mean, he's certainly.
Do you think he should be a starter next year? That's a good question. He's still got his running ability. His running ability is still there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He broke franchise records for running on the team, obviously. I mean,
I
mean, he still has his legs. That it's just his reads. It was off this year. But then again, you like you said, his receiving core, it was just insanely terrible. The Patriots, I can say probably, but with the Jets, have the worst receiving core in the NFL. He had no help. So
I would argue that the Jets receiving core is better.
I think I probably agree with you, to be honest. N'Keal Harry, and then they have like a couple other nobodies. I mean, the Patriots are just. Listen, there was always a debate before the season. Who's going to succeed more, Belichick without Brady or Brady without Belichick?
And the
question was answered midway in the season already.
It was. I remember the game I came to that conclusion, and I was right.
And I mean, before the season even started, I told you that first of all, Cam Newton on the Patriots, that makes the Patriots a really interesting team to watch.
For sure.
And I'll say this. The first 2 weeks, they were extremely. I thought the Patriots were primed to maybe be the 2 or 3 seed because they looked really good in the first.
Honestly, everything started going downhill once Cam got COVID. After that was when the Patriots went, because they were 4-2, 5-2 at one point, I think.
Yeah, I mean they were primed to basically make another run. You know what I'm saying? But then, Cam got COVID, and then Jarrett Stidham, who I mean, everyone was saying was the next Brady.
Everybody was like Jarrett Stidham. I heard a lot of people say, Jarrett Stidham could be the next.
I mean, why do backup quarterbacks always have the most?
Go ahead.
I don't get why backup quarterbacks always have the worst last names ever. They have the least coolest football names. You got Tom Brady, and then you got Jarrett Stidham. What? And you got Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins.
It's such a nitpick, but I mean, kind of a true point. But
it's something I've noticed. Man. It's just Obviously Belichick. Listen, now I will say this. Maybe it's just because Cam Newton doesn't work in Josh McDaniels' system.
So
Because Josh McDaniels is basically making him. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard that Josh McDaniels isn't actually that good at developing quarterbacks. And then, after I say that, you might wonder, well, Tom Brady was already developed. He didn't need to develop Tom Brady.
Yeah.
There was a couple games where I heard a reporter talking about it mid-game. I guess I watched a little bit of Patriots Jets. Or it was one of the more previous Patriots. No, it was the Patriots Bills game. They were talking about the Patriots like almost the entire game in their future. And they're talking about how Josh McDaniels has a reputation for not being able to develop quarterbacks that good. So that could also be another factor in why Cam Newton didn't succeed in terms of his passing game. So who knows? Maybe if he gets into the right system, he might. Who knows? He could return to glory.
Yeah, personally, I think the reason for the Patriots' failures, I think it's like 65-35. Like I think it's 65% of the coach's fault, 35% Cam Newton's fault. Because Cam Newton, he did also underplay.
Yeah. Also to keep in mind,
what did he have?
Yeah. Also to keep in mind, the Patriots had the most players opt out this season due to COVID.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like 8 players.
Yeah, I mean, they were always bound to, like, obviously there was always going to be like a level down on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And then okay, so yeah, that's the Patriots. Now, my thing with the Jets has always been.
Hey, Adam Gase got fired. Awesome for the Jets.
Listen, he got fired. That's great. And now they'll probably end up with they're gonna end up with Fields, who obviously I know after that most recent. What?
The thing is, do you think they should draft him or work around Sam Darnold? What do you think? Because you're gonna you're gonna get a new coach who's probably gonna be better at developing quarterbacks. I mean, because God knows how bad Adam Gase is. In the fact that he can't develop a quarterback. So either way, whether you keep Darnold or you draft, Justin Fields or something, you're gonna have a coach that's more than likely going to be better at developing a quarterback, unless you freaking hire Hugh Jackson or something. but yeah. So the thing is, you have the option of developing Sam, because Sam Darnold has potential. I've seen Sam Darnold put up some good plays. And he also hasn't had much to work with. He's working with the rest of the Jets offense. Sam Darnold has been the best player on the Jets offense ever since he's been drafted there. So I think you can build around Sam Darnold, but who knows? You could also trade Sam Darnold for another high draft pick, and then have 2 high draft picks. So who knows?
And that's probably what I would do, because I think for this, now that the Adam Gase era is gone, the Jets are going to be like, they're going to have a new basically everything. I think I think they should draft Justin Fields. We talked it before. You draft Sam Darnold to Pittsburgh, draft him to Indy. You draft him to a team that has that could use a quarterback for the future. I agree. Sam Darnold has potential. Just I don't think he has potential with this current Jets roster. And I think by the time the Jets are, going to have somewhat a stable roster, a stable coaching hierarchy, by that time, I don't think Sam Darnold's still going to be at that level, where if you put him in a good situation like Indianapolis or Pittsburgh, I think he would be able to develop super quick. In New York, I think he'd be able to develop at the pace that he would some other place else. I think you not draft him. You trade him. You draft Justin Fields, and who knows? Maybe Justin Fields, because obviously Trevor Lawrence, everyone's saying he's the quarterback. He's the quarterback prospect of the decade,
everybody's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're gonna miss out on him because they couldn't even tank right, because they decided to beat the Rams for no reason.
And who else did they beat? The Browns.
Yeah.
Well, that was because the Browns had all the receivers gone.
That one's understandable.
But they did win nonetheless.
They did win. I mean, but I'll say this. That means that the Jets, when they want to be, they can have somewhat a capable defense, even though those were like the only two
Well,
cases that we
yeah,
saw like this year.
yeah. So, I don't know if you know, but the Jets, I think, were actually like a top 5 team in getting turnovers this year. I don't know if you
Really?
knew that. Yeah. So the
Really?
Jets defense actually there's a sliver of potential with the Jets
Yeah.
defense. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, I don't look. Do I think the Jets are going to be good next year? No. Do I think they're going to be good the next year? No. Good even
no.
the next year? Still probably not. But hey, 5 years, 6, 7, who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows? So we'll see. And then with the Patriots, man, this really does feel. I mean, it is the dynasty has ended. I think everybody knows that, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like it definitely has sunk in after this season. Like they just
Yeah. It's like
first,
I've never thought of the Patriots as a relevant team. You know what I mean?
yeah, but yeah, they're now starting to fall to that.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime.
Yeah, Patriots might need to to trade up in the draft, if possible, to get a higher pick for a quarterback because yeah, I don't think Cam Newton fits so well into the Patriots system, especially if the rumors are true that Josh McDaniels isn't good at developing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't even think it's a rumor at that point.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Cam Newton's touchdowns to interception ratio, is proof.
Negative. Yeah.
um, so yeah, they might need to trade up for a quarterback because it's not looking so good for them. It's not. It's not looking good for the Patriots.
Hmm.
They're gonna start entering a
Yeah.
slump for a long time. It's
Finally.
yeah. Finally, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody except Patriots fans rejoices, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy to see because for me and you, like our whole lives, we've seen the Patriots good and great and winning friggin' 11, 12 division titles in a row. Like that's been our norm, you know.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much unless you started watching football in like the early 90s or the 80s, uh, uh, unless you started watching football then well, it's pretty much everybody's norm that the Patriots have been great and they've been a dynasty, and it's kind of crazy to see that end. But
Yeah.
yeah, just last thing on the Jets Patriots game, it was a good way to end the season for the Patriots, and Cam Newton especially. So
Hmm.
yeah, you got anything else you want to say about that game?
No, sir. Let's
No,
go on to
sir.
the next.
All right. This was actually quite the shootout. The Vikings Lions 37 Vikings won 37-35. Who would have thought that this game, like it
Who would
didn't
have thought a
matter.
game of the year candidate happened?
Yeah. It didn't matter because it had no playoff implications. But for some reason it just had to be one of the most
Yeah.
entertaining games of the year.
Yeah. For no reason.
For no
Exactly.
reason.
For no reason. I thought this game was entertaining to a billion. Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins went off. Stafford went off. I mean, it was
Marvin
just it.
Jones. Marvin
Oh,
Jones, the
Marvin
Lions
Jones.
receiver.
Yeah. I mean,
Adrian Peterson
this.
also got a touchdown too. It's nice to see
Yeah.
old AP
This game
doing
just
something.
had. This game had everything.
Yeah, it really did.
This game had everything.
Oh man.
It was your classic NFC North brawl, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, I will say this because the Vikings came out on top. So obviously, I wasn't expecting the Vikings to make the playoffs this year,
Mm-hmm.
but I also wasn't expecting them to be completely trash.
Yeah.
And this season, were literally right in the middle
Yeah.
because they had a few good wins.
From what you're telling me, your expectations, it sounds like they met them. Those expectations of missing the playoffs, but also
Yeah,
not
my
being terrible.
expectations were met. Yeah, my expectations were basically of them like just missing the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
A
Yeah.
seven
Because
and
they were only.
nine.
Yeah, they were all because the Bears were. If they snagged the last spot at 8-8. So yeah, they were only a game
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, and Jesus Christ, the Bears, God bless them. I don't know how they made
The
because
Bears.
because like the Bears, they're my NFC team because obviously I'm Team AFC because the Chargers.
Yeah,
The
of
Bears
course.
are my de facto NFC team. I don't know how they made it into this year, but I'm happy, obviously.
Yeah,
But the Bears they're a playoff team, I'm a hockey expert. It's just there's no correlation at all. You know what I mean? Bears are just not a playoff team. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
The Lions, though, I mean, like I've said before, with the Falcons. Go ahead. Do you have something to say?
Yeah. So I as soon as you started saying that, I knew you were going to talk about Matthew Stafford. Let me ask you this: would you rather have the Lions keep Matthew Stafford or the Falcons keep Matt Ryan? Because you said earlier you have the same opinion as Matthew Stafford as you do Matt Ryan. So yeah, do you think that would you rather have the Lions keep Matthew Stafford or the Falcons keep Matt Ryan?
I think I'd rather have the Falcons keep Matt Ryan.
Really?
Just because at this point, I don't really think Stafford. Okay, I think Ryan is a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think Stafford is at this point, he's an average quarterback who I think is overrated by a lot of people. He anytime he goes toe to toe with anytime he goes toe to toe with a elite quarterback, he always gets outplayed every single time. Like, he's not competitive with the big time quarterbacks of the league. And anytime he faces a crappy team, he blows, and he doesn't really blow them out, but he throws for 300 yards. But when they face a good team, they'll get blown out the first 3 quarters, and then when the score is 42-14, he'll score 2 touchdowns in the final 7 minutes, and then that'll pad his stats, and everyone will have this blind thing that, oh yeah, he's a good quarterback, look at his numbers. No, I just think he's always been an underwhelming quarterback my entire time that I've seen him. Not entire. Up until
I was gonna say from
2015 on, he's just been an underwhelming quarterback personally. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I see that point. I don't know. I just think I just want to see a better coach. I would like to see one more year with Matthew Stafford on the Lions. I'd say I lean a little bit more towards your opinion that you'd rather have Matt Ryan stay in the Falcons. I can agree with that a little bit. But the thing is, I would like to see Stafford one more year in the Lions because their players have some potential to actually maybe snag a wild card next year. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think if you get the right coach, add a few more players, who knows? But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
No, I just, at this point, why give him another year? Just so they can disappoint or miss the playoffs with another 7-9 season?
But here's the thing.
We've been saying that his receiving corps has had potential the past 6 years. Oh, this receiving corps has potential, so they might be able to go into the wild card. We've never said that the Lions are capable of winning the division. I don't think anybody has ever said that the whole time Stafford's been there. Maybe the season after his rookie season, not his rookie season, after 2011. Ever since then, we have never predicted the Lions to win the division. It's always been Packers or the Vikings, and then sometimes the Bears. The Lions are always in the back front because they're, at the end of the day, they're an average team. That's my thing, man. That's my thing.
I don't know. It's fair. I'm not saying your point is outlandish. It just, I don't know. Me personally, I think, I don't know. Well, because the way I think about it is if you draft another quarterback next year, right? This upcoming draft, you get a new quarterback. Do you still think that quarterback? Do you think that quarterback's going to take the Lions to the playoffs next year? Probably not. Probably not.
No, but at least you have a new building block. Stafford's not a building block anymore. He's a roadblock at this point.
I don't know.
He's stopping that team from developing, man. He really is.
I don't know.
They can give him all the talent in the world. It doesn't matter. Marvin Jones has been their most relevant receiver the past 4 years or 3 years, however long he's been there. The Lions are just so irrelevant now. It's Stafford, like they just need, like that's what I'm saying. The Lions and the Falcons are the exact same team, except the only difference is that Matt Ryan has shown that he can be an elite quarterback at times. He's not always an elite quarterback, but he's a good one. Stafford has never been elite. He's shown that he can be good, but for the most part, overall, he's an average quarterback, and he's holding that team down. It's like, just get rid of him. Get Trey Lance or whoever you can get, or Mac Jones. Get somebody else. Not Stafford. The way of the Stafford is gone in Detroit, in my opinion.
We'll see. Personally. We'll see.
Mic drop.
I guess the last thing I have to say about that game is Justin Jefferson. Kudos to him. Congrats on an amazing rookie season, breaking the NFL record for most receiving yards. He did that, and then but first everybody was congratulating him mid-game for breaking Randy Moss's record as a Viking. And then he broke. Can you believe Anquan Bolden was the previous record holder for most receiving yards by a rookie? Did you know that?
When he was on the Cardinals, who got drafted on the Cardinals, right?
I think so. It was either them or the Ravens. I think it was the Ravens.
I guess it.
I'm pretty sure he was Ravens and then Cardinals.
He was a Cardinals receivers first.
Really?
Yeah, it was Cardinals.
Because I remember him playing with Joe Flacco. That's why.
Yeah, but then he was in Baltimore. Then I remember he got traded to San Francisco, and then ever since then he fell off the face of the earth. But he was with Arizona. Yeah, I think that's probably because he had Kurt Warner as his quarterback, so it makes sense.
I mean, nonetheless, it's just kind of crazy to think that of all the great receivers we've had over the past years or so, Anquan Bolden was the previous record holder. I mean, hey, kudos to him for having it.
He has a ring.
I mean, he does. Yeah. Congrats to Justin Jefferson for also not only breaking the rookie receiving record, but also for being the first rookie receiver to be selected to the Pro Bowl for how knows long. I think it's been like 7 years or something like that since the last time rookie receiver was selected to the Pro Bowl. So yeah, Justin Jefferson, man's got potential. He has huge upside. I'm actually very excited to see what the Vikings can do with a real quarterback, obviously. Yeah, well, they just need somebody more consistent, because the thing is like this game, Kirk Cousins can go off. He did. He went. I think he threw for like 408 yards or something and 4 TDs. So he went off. Yeah. But other games, he's just garbage. For no reason, again. Just for no reason. Yeah, like one second he's losing every Monday Night Football game he's ever played, and then the other games he's like, all right, let me just be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady for a second. Like what? I don't understand his inconsistency. He's so, and it's not like he's here. No, it's here. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, like I remember at one point, I think there was a game, I think it was against the Colts. He had a passer rating of like 3. It's like 3.7 or some ridiculously low number. It was so bad. But obviously this game is an example where he just gunslings. Like, what? They gotta get a new quarterback, because as good as Kirk Cousins can be, he's not that enough.
I think Kirk Cousins. I think he for a team he would be the perfect backup quarterback.
For sure.
I think at this point, he's overstayed his welcome as a starter.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, so with a more consistent quarterback, not only just Justin Jefferson as receiver, but paired up with Adam Thielen, that's a dangerous duo right there to come. Yeah. So the more consistent quarterback,
and they got Dalvin Cook too.
Dalvin Cook. Also, rest in peace to Dalvin Cook's father. It's pretty sad. Yeah. You hear about that?
I did. Rest in peace to him, man.
Rest in peace, Mr. Cook. But it was a good game. Yeah, one of the most entertaining games of the season for no reason at all. Who would have thought? Yeah.
For no reason.
No reason. Had no right being that good.
Makes no sense.
Oh man.
At all.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's transition into the next game. Also won by only 2 points. Steelers and Browns. Congratulations to the Browns for finally making it to the playoffs since 2002. I think pretty much everybody except for like Ravens and Steelers fans were rooting for the Browns to make it in.
I
So
mean,
kudos to the
I
Browns.
was rooting for the Browns so hard this year.
Yeah. Yeah, so was I. And yeah, this is the best record I've ever seen the Browns have. For a lot of people, in fact.
Yeah, 11-5. That's like it's great.
And not only is that 11-5, that's 11-5 in Kevin Stefanski's first year as a head coach. So that pairing as coach with Baker Mayfield, I love it. Potential, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you have talked about it a little bit before, but we think that OBJ needs to leave because for some reason, whenever OBJ is in, Baker Mayfield doesn't do as good. But when he's out, Baker Mayfield is clicking, So,
yeah.
But in terms of this game, however, I'm actually not too impressed with the Browns, because the Steelers had Mason Rudolph in that game. And the Browns, they were dominant. They almost allowed Mason Rudolph's led Steelers to come back and upset their playoff hopes. Had they lost that game, they would not have made it to the playoffs. And they were a lucky 2-point conversion away from being tied and put in overtime. I mean, the Browns had plenty of time to come back on the clock. If they wanted, if it had to come to that. But nonetheless, I don't like how they barely won that game against Mason Rudolph. And they're playing the Steelers again this upcoming wildcard weekend in Pittsburgh without Kevin Stefanski because he tested positive for COVID. Yeah. So the Browns have their special teams coach, I believe, as this week's head coach.
Wow.
Yeah, so consider. I
knew Stefanski. I didn't know the special teams coach was going to be the head coach.
I'm pretty sure it's the special teams head coach. So with that in mind, and the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be in this game over Mason Rudolph, and it's going to be in Pittsburgh. I don't like. Yeah, the fact that the Browns only won this game by 2 tells me that they're not going to beat Pittsburgh this week.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, we said it before. Odell on that team is not a good match at all, no matter who the coach is or who the quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the right. And we learned this season that it is not the right system for Odell. Baker, he's definitely a spread the wealth kind of passer. If you have Odell on your team, you're gonna need to throw to him at least 10 times a game. You know what I mean? So,
he's a little.
But I do think Odell will be gone this offseason.
I think so too. I think the Browns have come to realize that.
Yeah, I think they realize that now.
And they gotta trade him for a defensive player because they need some help on the defensive side of the ball. They traded a lot of defensive players this offseason to get better offensive players. So, they got it.
It worked out for them.
I mean, it worked. I mean, hey, they're in the playoffs for the first time since 2002. So awesome. Once again, congrats to the Browns. We love to see it as football fans.
I love to see it.
So fun fact: now that the Browns and the Buccaneers are playing in the wild card round this weekend, after 12 years of watching football, I will have now finally seen every team play in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think that's for the first time. Yeah, I've never seen Bucks in the playoffs. Never seen Browns.
Yeah, because last time the Bucks went was 2007. And that was the year before I started watching football.
Yeah. I'm happy for the Browns. I don't think they're gonna get destroyed in Pittsburgh, but I do think it's a really kind of a bad mismatch for them. We just saw they like you said, it's not impressive. They barely beat them. They barely beat Ben Roethlisberger, T.J. Watt. The best players on both the offense and defense, and they only beat them by 2. So that is kind of concerning. But here's the thing: if I'm a Browns fan, I don't even give a crap about that. I'm partying all week.
Yeah, you just got to be happy that you're gonna see your team play further in January.
Yeah, and the Browns are probably gonna be good for this decade at least.
Oh
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
it's a first time head coach, and you got Baker. I think this team is only gonna get better. I think, go ahead.
Yeah, the entire time I've been watching football, the two biggest building blocks you need, and from what I've learned watching football, the two biggest building blocks you need are a good head coach and a good quarterback. The Browns, they finally got the good quarterback, 2 years ago, I think Baker was drafted. So they finally got the good quarterback after that long, but they still didn't have the coach. And now they finally have the coach. They finally have the two most important, the two base building blocks. And from there, the Browns have a lot to work with. And it's gonna make life a lot easier for the Browns. So yeah, I expect the Browns for the next 5 to 10 years to be good. I'm excited for the Browns.
Let me ask you something.
What's up?
Kevin Stefanski, Coach of the Year?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. It's it because not only did he take the Browns to the playoffs for the first time since 2002, but he got an 11-5 record. They were 7-9 last season, I think. I mean, that's not like a huge turnaround, but it is a turnaround nonetheless. And not only that, but he did it in his first season as the Browns coach. In his first season. There are some other good Coach of the Year candidates, but I think it goes to Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we said before, during the entire time we've watched football, the Browns have always the Patriots have always been on top, and and the opposite of that, the Browns have always kind of been the laughing stock of the AFC. Yeah, and to see literally the roles kind of reverse a little.
Yeah,
it's I like it because it's a new.
It's new. It's refreshing.
Love new things.
Yes, me too.
New things,
especially in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so the Browns being good, I'm all for it.
The Patriots being bad, I'm all for it too.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see the Browns finally. For them to finally go up against elite teams, you be like, you know what? This might be a competitive game.
Yeah, the Browns Ravens. Yeah, the Browns Ravens game we had a few weeks ago. Even though the Browns lost, and hashtag Poopgate. Oh God, sorry. Yeah, the Poopgate. Oh my God, it was out of a movie. Lamar Jackson comes out the freaking locker room and just boop, touchdown on 4th down. Out of a movie, man. But but the reason we're mentioning that game is because the Browns 3 years ago, the Browns in a primetime game, competitive, neither of those happened. But now they started getting primetime games last season. Yeah. Last season they started getting primetime games.
Yeah.
And now primetime games in competitive. The next step is primetime games, win them against elite teams.
Exactly. So yeah. And I think we're going to see a lot of that next year. I think the Browns, they're primed for a bigger season than they had this year. Actually, I think they're primed to maybe win the division next year. I mean, they
were close.
Now they were close. They were actually really close. They really do need to clean up the defense a little. The defense is, I'm not going to say it's holding them back, but
because it's not terrible.
Preventing them from reaching
greater heights.
It's not terrible, but the secondary needs help. The secondary is very damaged right now. And so I think you put a few pieces on the defense. I think you kind of upgrade that offensive line because clearly they got weapons on the offense. Austin Hooper, Landry. I mean, they got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I mean, they got weapons on the offense. So you upgrade the offensive line, you fix the secondary.
Nick Chubb did me some favors for fantasy football. Also, ladies and gentlemen, just to point it out, I did win the fantasy football championship for my league. Just a little golf clap for myself.
Everybody give a hand to Avery.
Yeah.
No, I haven't played fantasy football in 5 years. So
really, oh gosh,
it's been a while.
Maybe for all of you guys who watch this, hit us up, dude. It'd be cool to start a league with, because Adon, I would like to be in a league with you.
Me too. I mean, who knows? I mean, I have a very good, I'm very good eye.
Oh, me too. I mean, hey, this is what we're talking about a podcast for, So, yeah. So, just a quick side note for any of you guys who listen and big football fans. Yeah, dude, hit us up, especially if you know us. Yeah, we would love to start fantasy football with some more competent people. Sorry to the rest of my family who I play fantasy football with, but. But yeah, that would be fun.
Man, the Browns are. I cannot wait to see this Browns team next year because I do think I think they're going to get eliminated in the first round this year. Unfortunately,
yeah, but hey, next that's year, all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, you made it. That's all that matters. You made it, and you made it dominantly. Like they were the 6th seed, I believe, right?
Yeah, 6th seed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's great. I mean, so next year I can't wait to see what they do. And now in terms of the Steelers. Obviously, I know what we saw this week. It's what's them like at their full potential or like at their full like offense and defense. But the pass before that Colts win, I think everybody around the NFL we were basically gonna phone it in for the Steelers. We were ready to throw the cap in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I think the Steelers will win this week, but let's see after that what happens. Yeah. But let's move on to another game. Oh, man, we got a few more games to get to. We're already an hour in. Geez, all right. So, this one, okay, we're not going to touch up on much. I feel like Ravens-Bengals. Ravens slacked them 38-3.
Ravens are the hottest team in the AFC right now. They're a threat to any team in the AFC. Right now, even the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs smacked them earlier,
not the Chiefs.
Now they're in form.
I'm not surprised you said that because of the Chiefs. The Bills, my friend. You think they're hotter than the Bills? The Ravens. I mean, the Ravens are good. Don't get me wrong. They're definitely picking up steam at the right time.
Okay, my thing is that the Ravens have the best point differential in the league. The best. That means they blow. If they win, they're gonna blow you out. Or
okay, but that's the thing. That's if they win. But against the Bills just. Oh, that's actually the next game. Bills Dolphins. Yeah. So let's. Yeah. I guess we'll kind of pair these games. We'll pair these games. The Bills. They only started their starters for not even the entire first half. And destroyed the Dolphins 56-26. They still scored like another 20-something, almost 30 points with their backups against the Dolphins, who finished 10-6 against one of the most competent defenses in the league. That's monstrous. That's monstrous. I think that's the most points a team has put up this entire year, and they did it with their backups in. For a whole half. Like, oh my God. Like, you keep Josh Allen in. Dude, the Bills could have potentially all you need is like 2 touchdowns to score 70 points. That's insane. That's insane.
And they probably get that.
Yeah, they probably do.
They probably get those 2 touchdowns.
Look, the Ravens are hot. Don't get me wrong. I think they've won their last 5 in a row. Props to them.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I'd say the Ravens are a top 3 AFC team for me right now. Well, we'll see. Actually, yeah, no. I think they are. I think they're a top 3 AFC team, but the Bills, to me, right now, are playing like Super Bowl champion level right now. Bills are just on fire right now.
Well, I mean, I do think that the Bills and Ravens are destined to meet because I think the Ravens are going to win against Tennessee. I guess in this case they're going to upset Tennessee, but I don't know, man. I just think the Ravens they're looking like their 2019, and the reason why here's the thing. This is why when you sit, this is why a quarterback for like that last game of the season, you don't even let him play like a snap. That's why the Ravens lost last year to the Titans in the playoffs. Lamar didn't play for like 2 weeks.
I don't blame Lamar for that loss against the Titans last year. There were, I think it was counted 8 drops by receivers in that game, Ravens receivers. I think two. I know for a fact one of them at least led to a crucial interception. At least one of them. And I think two drops led to interceptions. But I can tell you right now, I guarantee you, at least one of them led to a crucial interception. I do not blame that loss on Lamar at all.
Okay,
but
Lamar,
I get your
the
point,
Ravens.
though.
They didn't come out. They didn't come out swinging. Now you have basically a Raven. Whoa.
Yeah, one thing that is in the Ravens' favor though is they don't have the same expectations because last season they won their last 12 games in a row. My lord, they won their last 12 games in a row.
Yeah,
and so yeah, they had that. Lamar Jackson was the MVP, so they had all these expectations. So I think that's one of the factors that went into their loss against the Titans. They don't have those expectations now.
Yeah. To an extent. I mean,
to an extent, yeah.
To an extent. I mean, I still think the Ravens are capable of going to the AFC Championship.
Oh, I think they're capable. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Ravens are on a hot streak right now, like the Bills. Like I'm not. I mean, I don't want to say like, oh yeah, the Ravens could easily just no. They're not gonna. The Ravens right now, unlike last year, they cannot really easily beat the great teams. They can beat up on the shitty ones, but they can't really easily beat great elite teams.
Yeah.
But like right now, I mean, I think they're on a hot streak, and Lamar is like he's like a wild animal out there, man. He's
looking like himself last year.
They're blowing out it's just funny because like when the Ravens face like bad teams, they never play down to that team's level.
That's one thing I really like. That's one thing I really like.
Yeah, I've always noticed that with them, man. And so yeah, I can't wait for next week's game.
The Ravens Titans game is gonna be a good game. I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be better. I think it's gonna be much more competitive than what we saw last playoff. So I can't wait to see that game.
Yeah, and after all, the Ravens are playing for revenge. So
yeah.
And the stadiums are flipped. It's in Tennessee this time. Yeah,
I think that's gonna add even more fuel to the fire, man. I can't wait to see it.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
So the Dolphins, they went 10-6 with basically 2 quarterbacks, right? Yeah. So next year, what do? Do you keep developing Tua?
You keep developing Tua.
Okay, just like that?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen is a prime example of how you can get a quarterback that wasn't great, had potential, made him great. Because Josh Allen, his first 2 years, was one of the most inaccurate passers in the league. Has one of the lowest completion percentages in the league his first 2 years. His third year, this year, potential MVP candidate. Josh Allen just lights out gunslinger this year. Yeah. So I think you can develop Tua like that and give him some better receivers. That's what the Bills did for Josh Allen. They not only did they develop, they fixed his throwing techniques, but they gave him Stephon Diggs. And props to Stephon Diggs for breaking Buffalo Bills franchise records. And being this year's receiving yards and receptions champion. By the way, props to.
I mean, Stephon Diggs went off this year, man.
Yeah.
He went off.
And I'm glad that Stephon Diggs got to be traded from the Vikings to the Bills for that. I'm glad Stephon Diggs is able to be on a more competent and just really competitive team.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm very now like the kind of what I said with the Ravens, the Bills are streak. My thing is that the Ravens, I feel like they have kind of like more to play for personally. I'm not saying the Bills have like a lot to play for. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the Ravens were basically like the Chiefs of last year, I mean the Chiefs of this year. Sorry. So they had all these, like you said, all these expectations on them. And so now they're kind of unrestricted. They can basically, like, they have nothing to lose. So that's why they're playing lights out recently. The Bills, are on the other hand, they're on a hot streak, but it's like a different kind of hot streak. Like they're playing so good just because
so
they are
right
that
now.
good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not even trying. Like against Miami of all teams, who is by one of like the top 15 teams in the league. Against them and you to put 56. Like imagine the Dolphins scoring 26 points and saying, "Oh yeah, the Dolphins scored 26 and they still lost by 30 points."
That's
you
insane.
Know what I'm saying?
That's insane.
That's insane.
And the Dolphins have one of the best defenses in the league. Congrats
top
to Xavier.
Top three.
Congrats to Xavier Howard for being this year's interception king, 10 interceptions. I think that's one of the first times I've ever seen, if not the first time I've ever seen a defensive back get 10 in a year. I've seen 9 happen. I've seen Darrelle Revis do 9. I've seen a couple others do 9. But as far as I can go back in my memory, this is the first time I remember somebody getting 10. So yeah, props to Xavier Howard. Hey, good stuff. Great addition to the team.
Man. Great addition. The most important addition, to be honest. Because especially now in the playoffs too. Now that we've seen like kind of Mahomes kind of look dicey, and I don't know if you know. I'm pretty sure you know this. Mahomes has like the most dropped interceptions of the season.
Yes. I was like, yeah.
So when the Bills and Chiefs eventually face off against each other, as I think we both predict, Xavier Howard, that game, that's basically his game at that point.
Yeah,
Mahomes is gonna have to be playing against him.
No, Xavier Howard is a Dolphin, not a Bill.
What Xavier? Oh,
yeah.
You want to know who I was thinking? For some reason, I was thinking of Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis, who retired at halftime.
Yeah, that is still the coldest move ever.
One of the coldest things I've ever seen.
So then, congrats to Xavier Howard then. But actually, no, we saw Xavier Howard against in that case, we saw Xavier Howard against.
He picked off Mahomes twice.
Yeah, that's also extremely hard to do.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. The Dolphins, in my opinion, I like Tua. I just don't think he has any room for improvement at this point. I've never liked his accuracy. It's his rookie year, but like,
look, I'm not disagreeing with your points. I'm not disagreeing about what he is now. I agree with everything you're saying. He is now. He's not the most accurate passer. And all that stuff. He's not really clutch. I agree. But I think there's potential to get there. If you can make Josh Allen from one of the most inaccurate passers in the league to one of the most accurate passers in the league, why can't Tua be flipped?
Because I think Tua is a different kind of quarterback. He's not really
okay.
And I know kind of like Lamar's kind of like a contradiction to what I'm saying, because he's kind of like he's a running quarterback first mostly, but Tua, like, I don't really know. It's just like,
we'll see. I'm not saying that it's for sure. Oh yes, Adon Tua's gonna be flipped. Like, it's just potential. I don't know.
For me, I personally don't see it. I guess this is
that's fair.
This is all, and like obviously I don't know until next season. I think next season is going to be a very definitive into what both of us think. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, this game was very. I think we both predicted the Bills to win, but not like this.
I didn't think it was going to be 56 to 26. My goodness.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah. All right. Any last things, or you want to move on to the next game?
Let's move on.
All right. Seahawks 49ers.
This is kind of like have much to say, but
yeah, I don't actually.
I think.
Go ahead.
So, the 49ers are. I think they're a elite quarterback away from basically being what they were last year. Because last year they were great, even like with Garoppolo, and I like Garoppolo.
Well, the thing is the 49ers. their system allows it to where they don't need an elite quarterback. Their run game is so good. Jeff Wilson, who's a freaking third string running back, he's just dicing up teams. As a third string running back. Like,
yeah, and
you kidding me?
Give you props to that. I mean, a quarterback somehow in that system.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a better quarterback for sure, but I think it was just the story of the 49ers this year is just injuries, man. They're injuries away from being back in the playoffs, being back and making noise in the playoffs too. You know, I think next year, they're my number one team for teams I think that are going to be in the playoffs next year that weren't this year.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I mean, what's up?
One thing I liked about these last couple of weeks with the 49ers is they played with heart, man. They didn't have anything left to play for, but you know what? Unlike the Eagles, which I will get into more detail later, unlike the Eagles, the 49ers, when they didn't have anything to play for, they played their freaking hearts out, man. And because they beat the Cardinals, that was a huge game for the Cardinals, and that, you know, other than losing to the Rams this Sunday, was one of the biggest games for the Cardinals to lose. And, well, Cardinals are not in the playoffs. And had they beat the Niners, they would be.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that for the Cardinals, I would say that loss to the Niners knocked them out of the playoffs more so than this loss did. I mean, that's a game you need to win,
especially with how injured the Niners are, you know.
Yeah, it's like, how do you and you got Kyler Murray, you got all your pieces there. You don't win.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when the Cardinals Rams game. But
actually, that is the next game, so we could kind of pair these games. Rams won 18-7.
Well, before I get to them, I mean, the Seahawks are the 3 seed, deservedly so. I mean, they really were like, they looked. I mean, I don't know if I think they're a better team than Tampa right now. Do you think they're a better team than Tampa? Personally?
No. Tampa is my in term.
No.
Tampa's either my number 3 or number 2 team.
Yeah. In the NFC, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
in terms of how good they are, but the Seahawks are my first sure 4, though.
Yeah, by far.
In terms of just how good they are, you know. But the thing, what's really weird about the Seahawks is they kind of did a complete 180 this year. They started off with their offense just killing it, man. Russell Wilson dicing up teams. Russell Wilson leading the MVP race. Everybody's thinking Russell Wilson's finally going to win the MVP this year, and then it flipped when the offense was playing on fire. The defense was allowing a lot of points a game, and then all of a sudden it flipped. The offense is now mediocre, but the defense is actually playing pretty good. It's so weird. It's a weird inconsistency problem, but it's not the biggest of problems to have because you still are producing wins. The Seahawks are kind of a weird team for me right now because it's really like weird. They are good. Because they are good, but it's just like, what are you gonna do? Is it gonna be offense good, defense bad, or is it gonna be offense bad, defense good? Oh, like what? It was even inconsistent in this game.
Yeah, they're never clicking both.
It was even inconsistent in this game. The Seahawks, it started with the defense doing good, holding the Niners down, offense playing mediocre, and then the second half switched. The offense was doing good, finished, with the dub 26-23. And then, the defense almost allowed the Niners to come back. Like, what?
Yeah, it's
so weird. So weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think I even like kind of midway through the season, I predicted the Seahawks to make the Super Bowl. Those dreams were obviously shot down.
Gone.
The Seahawks were just not consistent this year.
No,
they really weren't. It's just like they just were not. They were a team that, despite being good in any game, well, I guess besides the Jets game, but in any game, they were never hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, exactly. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, because they're good. They're good. They just don't. Yeah, they don't click on every single level, except for the Jets game. I mean, it's the Jets, so I mean, come on. So that's a good way to describe it. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the Seahawks Niners game? I'm chilling, personally.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, Cardinals, Rams.
I mean,
wow. John Wolford, the guy who had his Rams quarterback position on his LinkedIn profile.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
That's awesome.
I know when he comes in and wins the freaking game for injured Jared Goff. Like what?
The Rams in the playoffs, man.
I mean, it does help that Kyler Murray was out for most of the game.
Okay.
You know, but nonetheless,
I was about to say it's just like I was kind of sad about that. I was very sad about that.
Me too.
Because I do think the Cardinals they started out as like, whoa, like this team is like very.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, there was a point that like we've talked about this before. There was a point at one point where the entire NFC West, they were literally all the team was above 500.
Yeah,
and it looked like any team win the division. That was an insane little.
That was an insane little. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just like the Cardinals again. It was just. I mean, more so than the Seahawks. They were so inconsistent. I mean, it's just listen. I do think next year they're going to be a team because I think they're going to get more pieces on the defense. That's going to help them more.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what happened to Kyler and all that stuff? I was I want Cardinals to make the playoffs, even though I didn't want the Bears. I think the Bears were going to be competitive with the good teams because they were just beating up on crappy teams. December. So I really wanted the Cardinals to get in, but it was the Kyler Murray and whoever their backup was with the weird last name and the whole tattoo sleeve. I have no idea who that guy. He was like a CFL guy, and they kept bringing that up. It didn't matter. They were never going to win that game. The Rams defense was too good all day.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey is the one DB who can always shut down DeAndre Hopkins. Jalen Ramsey's so good. He's Jalen good, Ramsey, man.
He's good, man.
And Aaron Donald too. Oh man, they really the Rams. The Rams truly do have both the best DB and best D lineman in the league.
That I know, right? Like it's almost like cheating. It's like you literally have a cheat code defense.
Yeah,
like you can stop the run and stop the pass, and you can sack the quarterback. Like you're set. You're pretty much set.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Arizona though? Give me your thoughts on Arizona.
Man, the thing is with the Cardinals is, you know, I'm not super disappointed in this loss only because Kyler Murray was out for most of the game. That's the only reason why I'm not disappointed in the loss. The thing is though, the Cardinals should have been in the playoffs. They lost. The reason is they lost some games that they just should not have. They lost to the Lions. That's a game they should have won. They lost to the Panthers, another game they should have won. And by the way, Christian McCaffrey was in that game, so yeah, you definitely should win that game. You know, so those are two losses I can think of right now. It's like you should have won, and those two wins puts them at 10-6. That would have given them the 6th or the 7th seed. So, you know, it didn't have to come down.
6th seed.
Yeah, it didn't have to come down to the final game, you know, and not only that, but to then be eliminated. It didn't have to come down to that. But because they lost, that really was the difference, was losing some games they just shouldn't have, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what separates them from being 8-8 and a playoff team.
Yeah.
You know, you have to beat the bad teams, you know. You got to do it.
Now I think now, like especially now with the draft, first off, when you just miss the playoffs, that kind of automatically makes like it makes the draft even harder because now you have like a terrible pick, like they're gonna be the 18th or 17th pick, so now you have that, and like also it's just like those losses to Carolina and Detroit, those were so special for them. Because the Cardinals really looked like at that point that they could give any team a run for their money.
Until those games.
And I thought the Cardinals were definitely going to make the playoffs throughout the whole year. I always thought the Cardinals were going to make the playoffs. I always predicted them to be in the playoffs instead of the fucking Bears.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. But it was literally past mistakes that came back and haunted them. To where it didn't matter what they did this game. It was like, even if Kyler didn't get hurt, Do I still think that the Cardinals win?
I don't know.
I don't even think I could say. I mean, at that point, they didn't look like their first like 9-week selves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
like the
for
second half of
sure.
the season, they just fell into a hard slump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess that's what I have to say about that game. Anything else you got to say?
Yeah. Nah, I'm chilling, man.
All right, let's move along further into our 1:00 games. Jaguars, Colts.
Philip Rivers scared the crap out of me. He scared the crap out of me. Obviously I'm a Chargers fan, so now I'll say during Rivers' last season, I wanted him gone. So I think, like I said, once you last too much with a quarterback, it gets to a point. Luckily, the Chargers got the memo and they actually did what they were supposed to do. And they got rid of him.
The difference between Philip Rivers in his last
up?
year and Matthew Stafford and Matt Ryan right now is Matthew Stafford's not bad. Matt Ryan is definitely good. Philip Rivers was bad in his last season with the Chargers.
Yeah, but even the year before that, the year 2018, the Rivers was amazing. He was like an MVP candidate. So
yeah.
But even then, I
it's
still
weird.
kind of get rid of him.
But nonetheless, here he is on the Colts now.
Here he is
the
in the court. This is the thing. I'm happy for Philip Rivers. Rivers. I'm a Philip Rivers fan. I do. He was my quarterback for my whole life. Of course, I'm gonna stand this guy. Like I love this guy. And I was happy to see the Colts doing well, and I was so happy that the Bills beat the Dolphins, and the Colts barely. First off, the Colts should not have barely beaten the Jaguars because it was like 21-14.
28.
Felt like forever.
No, forever. Yeah.
And then that's when they scored. That's when they scored. And they got 28-14, and that's basically they put the game away.
Dude, Jonathan Taylor. I'm looking at it right now. 253 rushing yards. That's a franchise record for the Colts in his rookie season.
Dude.
Monster.
I'm now imagining what they can do next year. I can't wait to see what they do.
So it's one thing that's really been weird about the Colts is the Colts have never had terrible running backs, but they've never had great running backs, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I would say Joseph Adai was their last.
Joseph Adai is probably up until this point the best Colts running back I've seen. But this is where you, man, I like this. I like that the Colts have a great running back because the great running back can definitely help boost the quarterback. You know, for me, I have a simple. I would like to be a coach someday in football. Even bigger dreams to be in the NFL. But we'll see. I mean, that's all, just talk right now. But for me, one thing I love about offense, I think there's a really simple. There's kind of a simple formula in terms of plays. It's establish the run. Establish the run first. If you can establish the run, you're set. You're set to go just full speed in offense. Because then you can either keep running or full with play action. And Philip Rivers does well with play action. You know? Yeah. So that's one thing I'm really glad that the Colts have a great running back again. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this kid does and with the upcoming seasons. I don't think, based off of how dominant he finished, I don't think he'll be a one season bust. But yeah, I'm excited for the Colts. Now, do I think they're going to beat the Bills next week? No. But hey, but
they're in.
But they're in. I'm impressed with them. I'm impressed with Philip Rivers taking to the Colts to the playoffs in his first season with them. Yeah.
I'm happy about it, man. I'm happy about it.
Yeah. All right. Titans, Texans.
I feel like you should first since you're the Titans fan.
So
go ahead.
So the Titans. So as the Bears are kind of a Don's de facto NFC team, the Titans are my kind of de facto AFC team. I'm just a huge fan of Derrick Henry, and I think Ryan Tannehill is a super underrated quarterback. For the record, Ryan Tannehill finished with 4,000 yards, and I think either 40 passing touchdowns or 40 total touchdowns. Either way, stellar, great. Those are great numbers. So suck it, Adon. Me and Adon always have a debate about Tannehill and how good he is. And I like to come up with these numbers to prove him wrong, as he should be. Anyways, so this game, the Titans offense is so good. It's so good. They're a top 3 scoring offense in the league, right? And that's great. But the one issue I have, and everybody knows, is the defense. I mean, look, it's Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson is magical. Don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, if you look at his numbers, he should be in the MVP talks. He's this year's passing yards champion. Deshaun Watson got over 4,800 yards with that, and with everybody knows with that crappy of it. With nobodies. The only good receiver he had is Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks isn't a stellar receiver. I hope he someday does, because as an Oregon State fan, I would love to see that. Brandon Cooks came out of Oregon State, by the way. Go Beavs for all you Beavers watching this game or this podcast, not this game. Anyways. Yeah, even though you're playing against Deshaun Watson and his magic, I don't like the fact that they allowed 38 points. I don't like the fact that it was this close and that they won the game with a lucky Hail Mary to AJ Brown, to put them in the field goal range. And not only that lucky play, but the lucky shank in, the field goal. the Doinkin division title is what some reporter put. I like that. So I don't like the fact that the defense allowed this many points. But hey, Ryan Tannehill with his receivers is dominant, and Derrick Henry even more so. Congrats to Derrick Henry for being the first running back since LaDainian Tomlinson to be rushing champion back-to-back years. Oh, and not only that.
You're talking about.
Yeah, what's that?
The Charger you're talking about.
So yeah, it is.
Just make sure you show some respect.
Hey, LT's he's a legend, man. I can't forget that. But anyways, yeah, and also not only that, but he also joins LT in the company of 2,000 yards. So, yeah, no, Derrick Henry. Oh man, he's probably of this generation of running backs probably going to be the best.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah.
By far. I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He's
here's where I
a powerhouse.
Here's where I disagree, Avery.
Oh, God, let's hear this nonsense. If it's about
my opinion on the Titans.
Go ahead.
Yes, my opinion on the Titans has always been I like them because they really do put up a bunch of points on guys. But my thing is that it's super easy to put up points on them. So they never really
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Besides, because the Bills game was because looking back now at the Bills game, that was a really weird game.
That was rescheduled.
I know. So I had that going for it. But yeah, man, it's just Ryan Tannehill has improved from his Miami days. I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
He has shown that he is a top 10 quarterback. I'll give him that too.
Good.
But
All right.
But hold on. But I still think he's slightly given too much credit for the Titans' success. I will say this.
What do you mean? Yeah. Everybody, look, I love Ryan Tannehill. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not dumb. I know that Derrick Henry is the ultimate offensive player of that team. I don't think he's given too much credit. I think he's given the credit he deserves. Yeah.
Okay. My thing is that first of all, I don't want my not really dislike, but just my distaste for Tannehill to be mistaken as me being a Titans hater, because I don't hate the Titans, even though I do want them to lose in in the first round. But my thing is that I just feel like Tannehill he's a good quarterback. Great, I don't know. Elite, I don't know.
Okay, I think he's great, but not elite.
Wait. Listen. I said he was a top 10 quarterback, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that if Mariota was given this team, because Mariota kind of, I do know Tannehill took over the reins kind of last year midseason.
He did,
he took that team to the playoffs along with Henry. I think they're able to split that credit, And then this season, I think it was basically 60-40 Henry Tannehill in terms of like basically elevating this team to
I'd
what
say
they are.
55-45.
But I mean, Henry Tannehill.
Yeah, 55-45.
Okay, but I will say this: the Titans were in a slump, though. Like you can't tell. Like they were in a
Kinda.
slump like in December where they lost a lot of games they should have won. But here's the thing:
The
Henry
thing
was
is,
going off in all those games, and Tannehill was the one who was underplaying. My thing is, so that's my thing. It's just that
hey, I'm not denying that Derrick Henry is the better player, and I'm not denying that Derrick Henry matters more, but I mean, hey, numbers don't lie, baby. Numbers don't lie. 4,000 yards, 40 total touchdowns. Nuts. That's nuts. That's great.
Good. It's good.
No.
It's
That's great. That's great. Those are great numbers.
I'll give it. It's great. It's great.
I think Tannehill's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's quite elite yet.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you that. I will agree with that. It's just my thing is that I don't even think Tannehill. I don't think Tannehill can be any more greater than what he is right now, in my opinion. I
think there's a sliver of room for improvement. I don't think there's a whole lot, but I'll agree to that. But I think there's a little bit of ceiling to reach. But
in my opinion, I think he's already hit the ceiling. But I will say that ceiling is high. Like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, he's already peaked. Well, actually no, yeah, he has already peaked, but it's not like it's not like oh like he's a whatever quarterback. He's not. He's gonna take your team to the playoffs now, like this Tannehill. He's gonna take your team to the playoffs. If he needs to be clutch, he'll be clutch because obviously he threw that amazing pass to AJ at the end of the Texans
beautiful
game. So it was a beautiful pass. I'll give him that. But I just think at this point, he basically reached his ceiling, and I think that ceiling is good quarterback, in my opinion. He's better than Matt Ryan.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, no, duh. I mean, yeah, because one thing I think the whole world can agree on is Matt Ryan cannot run to save his life. Matt Ryan, we've mentioned it before. Matt Ryan and Matthew Stafford are like the last of the quarterbacks that are truly pocket passers.
Yeah. By far.
Yeah, but all right. Ready to get into the next game?
What's next?
So we actually have two games coming up. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been looking at these games almost by division, like the back-to-back games are by division. This one we're going in the AFC West. These are the two games actually for all these four teams did not matter at all. Playoff implications. Broncos, Raiders were already eliminated. Chiefs already secured number 1 seed. Chargers already eliminated. These games had no implications really, except I don't have much to say about the Broncos Raiders game, except for
I'll just say I do have one thing to say about that. Okay. I just think that if John Gruden doesn't get that team doesn't get the Raiders to the playoffs next year, I think it's at that point you just cut ties with them. 3 years in a row, and you miss it, and you miss the mark. And a smidge every single time.
And not only are you missing it by a smidge every time, but he's starting off the Raiders good. They start off like 6-4, and it's like, hey, that could be a playoff team. Mm-hmm. But he finishes with 5 or 6 losses, and it's that's come on, it's unacceptable. That you can 3 years in a row start that good and then finish that bad and miss the playoffs 3 years in a row. Like there was at one point this season where I was like, dude, the Raiders look hot. The Raiders look good, and then slumped again with John Gruden. So no, I agree. I definitely agree that they should give. Yeah, if John Gruden does not make it to at least a wild card spot with the Raiders next year, yeah, I agree. They should cut ties with them. They shouldn't have fired Jack Del Rio so early.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they should. No, yeah, they should never even fired him in the first place.
Yeah. Other than that, I really don't have much to say. Yeah. I mean, it's a game that didn't matter at all. I mean, not that it did like the Vikings and Lions game or the Patriots Jets game, but like I don't know. There just wasn't for me a lot to take away from the Broncos Raiders game.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I'll say is I think the Broncos could give Drew Lock one more year to see.
So you okay?
I said could. I'm not saying they should.
No. I think they should, because I think Locke, unlike other young quarterbacks in the AFC, I think he actually does have potential. It just has. I haven't really seen it that much this year. So
Yeah.
I personally, I think. I mean, listen, Jerry Jeudy, Gordon, Philip Lindsay.
Yeah.
He's got
Cortland Sutton.
He just needs to make
Cortland Sutton too.
So I think you give him one more year. But here's the thing: Vic Fangio, though, the same thing. At this point, if he can't prove to the Broncos front office that he can't develop Locke, I mean, what have the Broncos been ever since Manning left? They've been basically irrelevant.
They might lead the league in most quarterbacks cycled since Manning.
Yeah, man, it's insane.
Yeah, they got to figure that out. But for me, I don't have anything else to say on that. But in contrast, Chiefs, Chargers, Justin Herbert. Oh my God, what a season! In not only what a season. Oh man,
Avery, let me go ahead and take the reins.
Yes. You as a Chargers fan, let's hear this. Let's hear this. Yeah, go for it.
I have such a fucking man crush on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is the man. He is a god. I love this guy with all my heart. Like, this guy is just insane. He's insane.
He is.
Like, I've never seen a rookie quarterback. First off, he almost, okay, let's be honest. For the passing yard, because I know he basically beat every other rookie quarterback record. Touchdowns, completion percentage. Like, he basically destroyed all the records besides the passing one. Let's be honest, he only played he only played 15 games in the season. Like, he missed like the first game. You give him that one game, he breaks the record easily. Like, Justin Herbert, I cannot, as a Charger fan for my whole life, I am so excited to see what this kid does. I can't wait to see this guy go toe-to-toe with Mahomes again. Because the first matchup was insane. He basically went toe-to-toe. They were basically went toe-to-toe. No one outplayed each other, but they dueled, and they both played like elite quarterbacks that day. So I can't wait to see that for basically the next 10 years. But yeah, I mean, listen, Herbert is the man. We fired Lynn. I think that was the right move.
That's a dub for the Chargers.
This season, it was just, there was too many of those losses, and I know we won 4 straight to end the season, which is good. I mean,
I liked that. I'm honestly glad that
the only thing that was consistent this year was Herbert. Like, and I'll say this too: you got to give Anthony Lynn credit. He developed Herbert into what he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
He was the guy who allowed Herbert to basically go off all season. I'm gonna give him that. I just think Herbert needs a head coach that will like fully invest in him. I do think I'm not saying that Lynn didn't invest in him. I just don't think he would. I don't think Lynn was trying. I don't think he ever showed signs of trying to build around Herbert, in my opinion. I think the next head coach, whoever that may be, my pick is Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. But I'm excited, and listen, Lynn, he got us to the playoffs once in 4 years. I know some people were kind of surprised that he got fired. I was not at all. I mean, look at the games we lost, man. It's just like, so I don't understand why people are defending him, but I did. I mean, whoever we got as a head coach, there are rumors that we're interviewing Jason Garrett. Jesus Christ!
Oh Lord, that would be terrible.
Get Jason Garrett as our head coach. I hope we get just someone that's not Jason Garrett. I do not want Jason Garrett on our team.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for the Chargers and what they're gonna do. I think we're a playoff team next year, no matter what, because we have a hell of a roster. We still got Joey Bosa.
You guys could be too.
We got. I mean, we have Derwin James.
Hopefully he finally returns. Oh my Lord.
I hope so, man. He had a great rookie season, and then he fell off the map for like the rest.
Because of injuries.
Yeah, I know, man. So hopefully next year, we get a better strength and conditioning coach or something, so we can not have injuries ruin our season.
Eagles could use that too. Oh man.
Eagles and Niners need them badly. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm personally excited. I
Yeah,
cannot wait to see the Chargers next year.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I really like this game. Um, and the fact that they won by 17 points. Look, the Chiefs backups are in, so I get it. But hey, they could have
Yeah,
easily only won by one score, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
hey, as when you're playing in that situation against backup teams, you got to win by 2 or 3 possessions, and they did. They won by 17 points. Props to that.
yeah,
And not only that, it's 38-21. I mean, they almost scored 40 points. I mean, that's great. You know, other than the Chiefs touchdown drives, the Chiefs defense or offense was stalled the entire game. So I
yeah.
like that on defense as well. It was a great defensive performance. Man, Justin Herbert, he's the future, baby.
I
He's
know,
one
man.
of oh man. The I was talking to someone the other day. Somebody was saying Andrew Luck is the best rookie quarterback of all time. Are you kidding me? Look, was Andrew Luck
No.
a great rookie quarterback? Oh,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
one of the best rookie quarterbacks of all time, no doubt. But stats don't lie. Justin and not only the stats not lie, context does not lie. With Anthony Lynn, a coach that can't help you win all those one score games, because look, you flip 3, 4 of those games, or you flip 4 or 5 of those games that are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's
handily,
not
like well into the playoffs.
yeah, exactly. So that's not too much to ask for, I feel like, especially because it's one score games I'm talking about, you know. So you flip 4 or 5 of those games of like those of those losses, because I think there's only 1 or 2 games where they lost by more than one score. Um, so yeah, you flip one of those games, or 4 or 5 of those games are in the playoffs. So man, yeah, I'm excited to see what Justin Herbert does. Justin Herbert's basically
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes, but with up until Anthony Lynn's firing a bad head coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it, man. I cannot wait to see it.
yeah,
I'm so
it's
happy.
exciting.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah. All right, let's get into the Packers and the Bears.
Go ahead and pop that one off.
Okay. Uh, I think Aaron Rodgers should probably be MVP. Freaking 40. I think it's 40. No, it's 48 touchdowns actually. I think
Yeah,
5 interceptions.
insane.
Dude, so not only did Aaron Rodgers throw for more touchdowns than the Packers had punts this whole season, but I just learned that Devontae Adams had more receiving touchdowns than the amount of field goals made by Mason Crosby. That's nuts. That's insane. Look, I last year, you know me, I said the Packers were a fluke. This year, I got a flip face. They looked really good this year. Um, I mean, there's part of me
Really
that's
good.
yeah, they're really good. The Aaron Rodgers Devontae Adams connection is just that's dangerous. I think that's probably the best of the only quarterback receiver connection I can think of that compares is that even comes close is Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. That's the only other QB receiver connection I'm thinking of that comes close. But other than that, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, it's dangerous, dangerous. Devontae Adams was, I mean, okay, that's a lot of touchdowns to make up, but 5 touchdowns away from tying the record. I mean, that's a lot to
Yeah,
make up, but nonetheless, it's still really good. 18 touchdowns in the season. That's really good.
yeah,
That's really
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I mean, the Packers basically. I mean, Rogers did what Rogers does, man. I mean, what's up? What's up? What's up? I see you.
So I'm remembering that, 18 touchdowns in the season. That's great. Close to the record. Devontae Adams missed 2 games. Imagine two, three, two, two,
Damn.
two more games with 3 touchdowns, breaks the record. Just saying. So that's even crazier.
I mean, the Packers. I mean, I think, dude, the Packers have been looking good all season. I mean, with a couple of like kind of like non couple of nonsense losses to like like the Colts and to the Vikings, because I think the Buccaneers loss was very. I mean, I think we saw the Packers. We lose that definitively. The Vikings losses, they were just trap games personally. But
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I think the Packers, they look insanely dangerous. And I know you think that the Bucks they're probably meant for an eventual meeting with them. And they might beat
Yeah.
them, or you think they are going to beat them. I mean, I think that
We'll get into that later.
we'll get into that later. I mean, I just think I think at this point, I don't even with how good the Bucks are looking with recent weeks. I think even the Packers would probably not kill them, but they'll probably win by 2 scores. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably win by
I
two
mean, it's
scores.
possible. I'm
The
not ruling
Packers
that
look
out.
just the Packers just look really good, man. And then flipping to the other side, the Bears have no, like I said before, they have no business
In the
being in the
playoffs.
playoffs. Like
They
the
don't.
Bears are basically kind of like, it's like the same sense of like a NFC East team having to be in the playoffs. It's that sense. It's like the Bears should not be in the playoffs under any circumstance. It really
Yeah.
was just it was just
Luck.
Cardinals misfortune. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just Cardinals misfortune that got them
Yeah,
in
for
there.
sure. For sure. Yeah. And the Lions or not the Lions, the Vikings could have snagged it from them too. They were close. Just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I
pretty close. They were
agree.
like a
The
game behind
Bears,
at one point.
yeah, Bears do not deserve to be in the playoffs, especially losing 6 in a row. Like, ridiculous, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but they're
Terrible.
in. But they're in. Let's see what happens. And Mitchell Trubisky was playing good up until this game.
Yeah, I mean, he
he
never really
he
plays good
had
against
he
the
had like a
Packers.
little he had like a little hot streak there for a second, but then well, he met the Packers and business is business as usual. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have much to say from that game other than the fact that Packers deserve the number 1 seed and the Bears do not deserve to be in the playoffs.
At all.
They don't. Yeah. Last game before we get to a big rant
A
from
regional.
me.
Yeah.
Saints Panthers.
I don't really have much to say. I mean,
Me neither.
Saints handled business. At this point, the Panthers just need to find a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater is not it.
I
They
don't
should
think so.
probably. I think at this point, your best bet is just to trade him. Maybe get a second or third rounder out of him. He does not work in that offense at
He
all. And I
doesn't.
know, and he worked. He worked a few weeks, but in the long term, I don't see a future
Me
for him.
neither.
I don't see.
Me neither.
Yeah, as a starting quarterback.
Yeah. I agree. And one thing I like about this win for the Saints is not only do you beat a division opponent. I mean, not that the division opponent's like good or anything. Sorry to my brother who's going to listen to this. He's a huge Panthers fan. But one thing I like about this for the Saints is not only do they win this game, but they blow out the Panthers, 33-7, and in Carolina. So that's a good way to roll into wild card weekend. I like this win for the Saints. Drew Brees,
Yeah.
After his injury, is starting to mold back, and get into form. And they were without their entire running back committee, and they still with Ty Montgomery. They brought Ty Montgomery back from the depths of running back hell, and it had him rush for 90 yards or something like that. Like what? Oh God, the Saints are too good. And Saints are really good too. Oh my! And Drew Brees was hitting dimes. He was hitting dimes, man.
He was on fire. He was on fire, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, great win for the Saints. Great way to roll into wild card weekend. Anything else you got to say?
So, nah, but in my opinion, I think the Panthers have. I know Matt Rule is their head coach, so obviously it's just that I just feel like I don't know. The Panthers have a capable roster, not on defense, but on offense.
They could they could draft some more defensive players. They have some good
that's what
players.
I'm saying. I just feel like the Panthers, they're literally a quarterback away from being like from a wild card team.
Well, yeah,
but
if you think about it, considering that the Bears got in at 8-8, right? The Panthers are so Teddy Bridgewater was 0 for 8 on potential game-winning drives. Some of those weren't his fault. Joey Sly ended up missing field goals that could have won or put them in overtime. So it's not entirely to blame, but only like 3 of those I can remember were Joey Sly missing a field goal. Other than that, it's all on Bridgewater. You know, if you turn 3 of those games around, 3 out of those 8, including the one where the Panthers lost to the Bears, Panthers are in the playoffs. Isn't that like? Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of crazy to put it in perspective? Like, I don't. It's not much. I feel like people have thought about, but if you think about it, a lot of 1-score games lost. You know, 8 of their losses were 1-score games that Teddy Bridgewater, and Joey Sly failed to come back in, and 3 games. That's it. That's all they needed, including the one against the Bears, and they would have been in the playoffs. So Panthers for me are a team.
Interesting thought.
Yeah. So Panthers are
interesting thought. Sorry. Go ahead.
Finish real quick. I was just gonna say I think the Panthers could be a playoff team next year. Could be. Not saying it's gonna happen.
But it could be. Interesting that you bring that up, just because like I always thought with stats like those. Thought with stats like those, it's just like if you put a capable quarterback on that team, the Panthers wouldn't even need to be in any of those game-winning positions. They would just like have won the game. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
So I just think next year, or maybe I guess this offseason, they need to do a lot of reevaluating, especially on the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Because who do they have? Kyle Allen and Teddy Bridgewater.
No,
right?
No. Kyle Allen is.
You're not gonna
Kyle Allen's on Washington.
Oh yeah, he's on the football team.
And he broke his leg. That sucks. By the way.
Yeah.
Hope he heals from that.
So like then it's like Teddy Bridgewater and some other guy.
It's PJ Walker. He was from. Yeah, man, he was the XFL's leading quarterback. Walker. He was the XFL's leading quarterback.
Yeah, and now I look at him now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're just gonna have to see, man. We're just gonna have to see. I think the Panthers make the right moves. They can easily be back in the playoff hunt next year.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Deep breath. You're going to get into...
What's the next game?
The last... it's the last game. The Eagles and Washington football team game. Oh, man. So for everybody watching this podcast...
Just get a nice sip of water.
Yeah. Let's get this nice sip of water before... Oh, my God. So, for all you watching this podcast, you will come to learn that I am a diehard Eagles fan. I am. But see, what a lot of people forget or misunderstand about diehard Eagles fans is a lot of people think that diehard Eagles fans are Eagles are good all the time. They're saying Eagles are great. They're always up to good. They're always got potential. No. A diehard Eagles fan tells the truth. And here, oh my goodness, here's the truth. So I'll start it off like this. So a lot of Giants fans and players, especially, and coaches were upset that we lost this game, right? And they're like, it's ridiculous that the Eagles lost this game and that they gave up this game and, and all that stuff. And then a lot of people and other Eagles, I think fake Eagles fans, fire back and are like, well, you guys shouldn't have gone 6-10. I mean, that's a true argument. They shouldn't have had to rely on us. I mean, that's an absolutely true point. I mean, when we played them the first time, Evan Ingram dropped what would have been a game-sealing pass to beat us, but he didn't. He should not be in the Pro Bowl, by the way. But anyways, a lot of people, a lot of Eagles fans are like, oh, well, you guys shouldn't have gone 6-10, quit whining, But here's the thing. I understand Giants fans' anger because I'm not upset that we lost that game. I'm not upset that we lost that game. I'm upset in which the manner we lost that game. No, not the Eagles. I'm sorry. Doug Peterson completely gave up that game. There's nothing that he can say to anybody, the media, or anything he's already said that's going to convince me otherwise. I mean, when you take Jalen Hurts out of that game, you take away the best option at quarterback. And I got a counter argument for an argument that I'm about to bring up that other people have mentioned. Well, a lot of people have been like, well, Jalen Hurts was 7 for 20 with an interception. That's not good. That's true. That is not good. And that is a benchable scenario. My counter argument to that is, why was he that bad? Why was he that inaccurate? Because here's the thing. In his first game, when he comes in for the second half of the Packers game, he puts up a decent game, gets a nice touchdown on fourth and like 20 or something. And then first full starting game, upsets the freaking Saints, and then the next week puts up 300 and something yards and 4 total touchdowns. First Eagles quarterback to do that since 2017 and our Super Bowl season. That, and then the last 2 weeks he digressed. As a coach, it is your responsibility to keep developing the quarterback. And Doug Peterson is just failing huge time. The whole league saw it with Carson Wentz. This is the only year Carson Wentz was terrible. Only year. And he digressed from arguably a top 5 quarterback to a for sure bottom 5 quarterback. And Jalen Hurts went from this, oh wow, Jalen Hurts he might be one of the best rookies of this draft class, best rookie quarterbacks, to against the Cowboys not doing anything, and to going 7-20 with an interception against the Washington football team. I mean, is their defense good? Yeah, it's good, but their offense isn't good enough to make the defense sustain. I was saying it earlier why I think the Buccaneers are going to roll over the football team. And like the football team defense is good, but it's not so good that they're going to cause a quarterback to go 7 for 20. I don't blame that on Jalen Hurts. I blame that on Doug Peterson's inability and failure to continuously develop Jalen Hurts after a hot streak of coming in, playing decently for the Packers, beating the Saints, and then having a stellar game against the Cardinals. It's your responsibility to keep that up. Especially the game where it started to digress was against the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense, one of the worst defense in this entire year. Why? Why? Doug Peterson just needs to go. Earlier in the year, I said, I think they should give him one more year on a hot seat. No. That's long gone. Long gone. Doug Peterson needs to go. Joe Judge, the Giants quarterback, he went on a rant talking about how it's disrespectful to not put in the effort and to throw away a game. I agree. I think as a true Eagles fan, I agree with that, because as I said, I'm not upset over the fact that we lost, because we could have played competitively, given it our all, and still end up coming short and lose. And that happens. It's football, and that's just the way it goes. But what isn't respectable is Doug Peterson knowingly puts in the clearly worst option at quarterback when the game was winnable. They were down by 3 points. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And Doug Peterson, not only did he fail to develop Carson Wentz, failed to keep Jalen Hurts on a hot streak, but just had the most abysmal, lackluster, boring, uncreative play calling I've seen. It's so bad, I would almost take Adam Gase over Doug Peterson. That's how bad. The margin between them is small. Christ. It's small. It's smaller than people realize. Because at least Adam Gase in 2 out of the last 3 weeks of the season, got nice wins. You can give props to Adam Gase for that. Anthony Lynn, who the Chargers just fired, got the Chargers 4 wins in a row to end the season. Hell, Doug Marrone got James Robinson, an undrafted rookie, to just steamroll the league in terms of yardage. For those who don't know, James Robinson was an undrafted running back and had over 1,000 yards rushing with the Jaguars. That's impressive. And Doug Peterson, what does he do with I mean, sure, we've been injured a little bit, but we still had enough to do good. We still had enough. Doug Peterson completely failed this team this year. Completely. You know what's another piece of evidence for me as to why Doug Peterson gave up this game and why it's bullshit that he did. Jim Schwartz, our defensive coordinator, who is now unfortunately leaving. The only good coach we have is leaving. Yay.
Yeah.
And so Jim Schwartz came into this game. He said in a press conference, he said, I want to enforce a no-hat rule this week, meaning that we don't allow a division opponent, Washington, to put on an NFC East champions hat on at the Link, the Eagles Stadium. That's pride. That's playing to win. And you know what? The Eagles defense played good. They did play good against the Washington. Alex Smith threw a couple bad not bad interceptions, but he threw a couple interceptions. And the Eagles didn't get many turnovers this year. There weren't many games that they did get turnovers in. But this one, they forced 2 turnovers. And, the defense finished off the season nicely. With injuries, too, also. Fletcher Cox wasn't there. A couple other defenders were not there. And they put in effort. The defense played with pride, and that's a reflection of Jim Schwartz, of his press conference about the no-hat rule. That's pride. Doug Peterson, none. And another piece of evidence is the fact that players are there. There's a lot of reports now about Eagles players being mad about Peterson pulling out Jalen Hurts. A lot of Eagles players are mad about it. Did you hear the report that 2 Eagles defenders had to be held back from talking to Doug Peterson because they were that mad about them benching Jalen Hurts?
Man,
it's ridiculous.
It's bad.
Yeah, Doug Peterson has to go. If Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman do not fire Doug Peterson, I'm gonna throw something across my room. Because oh my god, I don't.
They're definitely not gonna fire him this offseason. Are you kidding me?
Well, so about a week ago they said we're gonna keep Doug Peterson, but there's rumors now after this week, after just how bad of a look that is, that he couldn't actually now be fired, which I hope he is. I hope he does. Oh my god. But if he doesn't, the Eagles could arguably be the worst team in the NFC next year. They could. They were 1 loss away. They only had half a game on the Falcons, who were the worst. The Eagles lose 1 game and they finish as the worst team in the NFC this year. That's ridiculous. There's only been one other season where I saw the Eagles get 4 wins, and back then I wasn't old enough to understand as much football as I do now. I was like 13 or something when that happened, and now I'm 21. But I even then I don't remember 4 wins is terrible, but I don't remember feeling like this disappointed. This is the most disappointed I've ever felt as an Eagles fan. It sucks, man. It sucks. I agree with all the Giants players and everybody who's disappointed with the Eagles loss, because not over the fact that we lost, but the fact that Doug Peterson gave up the game. That's why I'm pissed. Yeah. Because we could have spoiled Washington. We could have spoiled their shot at the division champ. The 49ers are the complete opposite of the Eagles. 49ers had nothing to play for. They practically knocked the Cardinals out of the playoffs. And even if the Seahawks had lost to the Niners, it wouldn't have mattered, but they still played to beat them. That's what you got to do. That's heart. That's heart in the NFL, and that's pride. Doug Peterson has none. I don't see it. And there's nothing he can say to me or anybody, any media out there, but that's going to convince me, and probably anyone, that Doug Peterson actually has motivation. I don't see it. And I hope he's gone. I hope so bad Doug Peterson is gone after this season. Oh man, and there will be more rants to come about
I agree with
other Eagles stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Go ahead, Don.
I pretty much agree with everything you say. Geez, I don't even know what I can say at this point. It's just
That's kind of how it works.
okay. Well, I can't really. I don't really have much to say about what the team is right now, but I do have something to say about what they once were, because 2017 was probably like, for me,
Special.
it was a weird year. It was the first year that the Chargers were in LA, so that first my interest in
And
football,
I
like it,
watched. Yeah, I watched the Eagles play the Chargers in LA. By the way, that year.
yeah, great game, by the way, great
Oh, I
game.
loved it. I loved
And
it.
so like my interest in football was kind of already dying down at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but
Understandably, yeah.
the one thing that I saw during the season was that the Eagles were on fire. And
It was special, man.
I remember Carson Wentz's rookie year, and I'm Doug Peterson's rookie year as a coach. It was awesome to see, because you could literally see like a
The
few pieces away from just what's up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to make sure you're not saying that Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz's rookie year was a Super Bowl season, right?
No, 2016. Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah. Okay. Just
2016.
making sure
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
tracking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I remember watching the 2016 season and saying, okay, yeah, this team, like in the NFC East, because at that point the Giants didn't their outlook wasn't that great, right? When the football team, when they were their old name, their outlook wasn't that great, and the Cowboys were pretty much kind of like the only competition in that division. And then 2017 happened, and the Eagles didn't, like, they barely lost, and then they got to the Super Bowl. They stuck it to Belichick. They stuck it to the Patriots. It was awesome. The Eagles got their first Super Bowl, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And it kind
Right,
of like
man. I'm gonna lie.
reignited my fire, because the Eagles were, in my lifetime, the Eagles were always a average to below average team. I've never, since I've
Really?
been watching football, they were like in 2011, from 2011 till like to at that point,
Did
they
you
never
know that the
really.
Eagles throughout the past 2 decades are one of the have one of the best records in the league? They're a top 10 team.
Well, no, like just like from that point, from like 2011 to like up until the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
2017
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about from the time when
2000.
I was watching,
Okay.
like 2011. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
Okay.
like they were I. I mean, like they were just
Yeah,
okay. And
between 2011 and 16, they had only like a couple years. So
yeah, so
yeah,
then when they were finally good, it was cool to see. I mean, they had Carson Wentz. I mean, Doug Peterson. I mean, remember, like, obviously every Philadelphia fan will be singing Nick Foles praises for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But like, it was like the Eagles were set up to be the next dynasty. You know what I mean? And just to see what they were then, and to see whatever the hell they are
in only
now,
4 years. In
in
only four
only four
years.
years. It only took 3 seasons for them to completely unravel. I just feel like the Eagles were never able to get used to that Super Bowl success. Like
No, they weren't.
they were never able to shoulder the load of, okay, yeah, that means we got to be like the next great dynasty, or like at least the next great like new team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they never were able to do that, and it's disappointing to see, because it's like that whole division is uninteresting. And the Eagles before this season were like kind of like the only interesting team. Like they were kind of like the only team that you kind of wanted to root for if you weren't a Cowboys fan, of course, or any other team's fan. But like, look on the outside looking in, they're really kind of the only likable team. And just now they're like the most dislikable team on an entire division. It's like, I don't want to root for the Eagles. Like, I don't care.
yeah.
Like, it's like,
And a lot of people don't,
and even
understandably.
during the last snap, one of the Eagles' defensive tackles dove for Alex Smith's leg.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One of
That
like they
was
dove for Alex Smith's leg on a dead, by the way. Like, so that, I mean, it's
just
one
for the
thing
fact
after
that it's Alec.
another.
Like, not only is that just unnecessary and just wrong as an NFL player, but just not only that, but it's Alex Smith. Look, I hate
Yeah,
Washington because they're a rival, but I can't hate Alex Smith. I
yeah,
respect the hell out of his comeback.
yeah,
Not only did he come back from one of the most gruesome leg injuries of all time, but he almost died. He almost died,
yeah,
and he came back from that, dude. And so, no, if there's like, I like Alex Smith. So, like, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, dude, why are you in the league? Like, that's intolerable on any quarterback, and let alone, and And the fact that it's Alex Smith who did that, are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding? Get out of the league, man. If you're gonna be pulling some crap like that,
man.
that's ridiculous.
So I'm like, I guess, and here's the thing: I root for the Eagles because Avery roots for him. You know what I mean? Like he kind of got me. Like,
I root for the Chargers.
He got me on that bandwagon kind of a little. But
I root for the Chargers a little bit.
I'm completely off. I'm off the bandwagon, unfortunately.
Yeah,
because like this,
understandable. I get it.
A team like this.
I get it.
Man, I can't support a team like this.
I get it.
Like, and I agree. Eagles are probably going to be the worst team next year.
In the NFC, yeah. I don't think in the league, but
no.
You think the Jets or the Jaguars are going to be able to come back?
They'll at least they're going to have something new because the Eagles are probably. I know you're hearing reports. I think they're probably going to keep Peterson.
I'm not doubting that I'm not saying it's impossible for the Eagles to be the worst team in the league. I just don't think they'll stoop that low. I mean, I
think they'll stoop low.
Well, I mean, I think they'll stoop low. I just don't think the Jets or the Jags will increase that much, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Alrighty.
I think the Jets and the Jaguars are just too bad and have such bad organizations that the Eagles just won't be the worst team in the league because of how bad the Jets and Jaguars organizations are. That's the only reason.
If the Jets face the Eagles today, I think I might have the Jets, if I'm being honest.
I could see it. And the Jets
Jaguars, I wouldn't even count them out for the way they played in Indianapolis. The Eagles are bad. They're bad, dude.
Yeah. They're just terrible. Just Doug Peterson's awful coach.
So sorry. You have to deal with that.
There's a reason why I said the gap between Adam Gase and Doug Peterson's pretty small.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I said I would almost take Adam Gase over Doug Peterson. Yeah. I actually might. It's that bad. Doug Peterson's play calling is that bad. It's so uncreative, so predictable. Oh, it irks me. It irks me. That's how bad it is. Oh, man. But that is the last game of the 2020 regular season. Wow. I wish we could have started this podcast earlier, but hey, you know what? I'm glad we're starting it now. Yeah. And I'm glad we're able to wrap up the 2020 regular season. I'm glad we got it in time for that. However, the podcast is not over yet because we're going to go into our playoff predictions. Oh, I'm excited.
We got about another 3 hours on this.
Nah, not that much. Our predictions are always faster than our breakdowns.
Yeah, by far.
And then in the upcoming weeks, they'll be shorter just because there's less games to break down. So yeah. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and share my screen, so that the audience, can see the upcoming games. So let's do that. Oh, that's something I'll actually see in a little bit. Whenever this loads. Yeah, so we're gonna have our predictions for the 2020 wildcard round. Oh, I'm excited. All right.
I'm excited.
So first,
I've been waiting for the playoffs this year.
Oh man, I'm excited. Lots of good teams in here, man. It's some good matchups. But let's go ahead and get into the first game, 10:05 Pacific time on Saturday. Sorry. Colts at the Bills. Don, who do you got?
I think there's going to be a few blowout games in the wild card round. There's at least always one, and I think this is actually going to be one of them because I think the Colts and Bills.
I agree.
Even though the Colts they're a good team, but
they are.
The Bills, it's a bad mismatch. So I think the Bills are going to win this one by 2 or 3 scores easily.
Yep, I agree with you. Bills take it. That's probably going to be the biggest blowout, I think.
Yeah. All
right, and then next, 1:40, you got the Rams at the Seahawks. This is a tough game to call, actually. Yeah. I'll give my prediction first. I think the Seahawks are going to win, and it's simply because I was mentioning the inconsistency of the Seahawks earlier, and I'm not a fan of that. But the reason why I predict them winning is because the Rams' offense has just been so dull the last few weeks. Ever since that Jets loss, the offense has never been there, and so I think that gives the Seahawks a slight edge in this matchup. So and it's in Seattle, so I like the Seahawks to win this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Seattle as well. Even if Jared Goff was starting, which I don't think. I don't think he'll be healed.
It's possible, but
Yeah.
I think even if he does, he's still gonna have some effect on his thumb. For those who don't know, Jared Goff broke his thumb before last week against the Cardinals.
Yeah, man. So I think I don't listen. The Rams are they've always been a tough opponent for the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks
for sure, yeah.
They're never really able to have a runaway game with the Rams. But I think this game's going to be closer than a lot of people think. But at the end of the day, I do think the Seahawks are probably going to pull it out.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm bummed that game is not the prime time Saturday game. The next game, Bucks at football team, because I think the Bucks, as I've said it earlier in the podcast, I think the Bucks are going to steamroll Washington, and it'll make me happy because it's one of my rival teams. So, but yeah, that's a bad game. Bucks are going to smash them.
I mean, that's where I kind of defer from you, dude. I honestly don't think this game is. I don't think this is a runaway game for the Bucks. The football team has a very capable. I think it's like they have a very capable defense.
I mean, Washington only beat the Eagles by 6. By 6.
I get that. But first off, the one big factor is that the football team is at home. And I know it's not as big of a deal as it is this year as it is in other years, but they are at home. I mean, I'll say this: a surprise from Washington, Antonio Gibson. He's been a really surprise breakout star.
But yeah.
I don't think that the Bucks have a good run defense. I really don't.
They have a pretty good run defense. It's not the best in the league, but it is
capable,
good.
But
no, it's good.
Yeah, it's capable but vulnerable. Now listen, I do think the Bucks are going to win this game. I just don't think it's going to be a blowout like Avery's saying. I think the football team has they have a good defense, but it's a good defense that I think is capable of stopping the Bucks, even though they've been hot these past few weeks. I don't know. I think this game has potential to actually be a pretty good game, a defensive struggle kind of game, if you know what I mean.
I see. But at the least, you agree that the Bucks are going to win.
Oh, yeah. They're going to win, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the Sunday games, the early game. I think this is probably my favorite matchup of the wild card round.
Me too.
Ravens-Titans in Tennessee.
Who do you got?
Me? Well,
I want you to think hard about it because
I did earlier. So as much as I was saying that the Ravens are hot and they're good, and they are, don't get me wrong. And this is going to be a close game. It should be. I hope it is. I hope this is a fun, close, entertaining, down on the wire game. But for me, I just kind of see the Titans as like the Ravens' kryptonite. They beat them in the playoffs, upset them in the playoffs last year, and then had a shocking overtime victory this year against the Ravens, with Derrick Henry getting like a 30-yard touchdown to win the game. I think the Titans are kind of like, they're almost like the Ravens' kryptonite to me a little bit. And also the fact, I mean, the Titans' offense is one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. It's top 3. That's another factor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do not like the Titans' defense against Lamar Jackson. That they're going to have a tough time covering Lamar. I cannot disagree with that. But it's just that the Titans' offense is just too electric for me. And also, I just have I don't know. It's kind of a gut feeling for me that the Titans are going to be like the Ravens' kryptonite. I mean, I'm not going to be upset if the Ravens win. Because, I mean, the Ravens, if they win, I think they deserve to win. And I think they deserve, and I would love to see Lamar get his first playoff win. It's just kind of a gut thing. I don't know.
So I think personally, I do think the Ravens are going to win, just because I think if there's ever a game where the Titans offense stalls and like the Ravens defense just somehow shows up, I think this week is probably the time.
This could happen.
Um,
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah,
yeah,
I could see it.
so I'm predicting that to happen.
Mhm.
Obviously, both of us could, either one of us could be wrong.
Either one of us could be
And I
right.
and
Yeah.
I agree with you too. I'm not going to be mad if the Titans win because I think this is a game where both of these teams they're so entertaining to watch, both of them,
This is a
because they're
really
such
evenly
high.
matched up game for
Yeah,
me.
they're such high powered offenses. I wouldn't mind any of them winning. It's just that I love Lamar Jackson. Like I think he's like my favorite player to watch besides Justin Herbert right now. So I mean, uh, I got the Ravens winning in a shootout. By the way, I actually don't think this is going to be as because like kind of last year when they faced off in the playoffs, it was even though the Titans scored, it was like 28-13, I believe. It wasn't. It didn't feel like an offensive game. This game, like right now, this year, it feels like it has potential to be a shootout.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is the first game we differ on. All right.
Yeah.
Might be the only one. Who knows? Saints Bears in New Orleans.
I mean, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like
Saints. Yeah, Saints are gonna win this one.
Saints.
It's
Bears
pretty
have.
clear. Me,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
we were both saying the Bears don't deserve to be here, and the Saints, I think, are gonna, yeah, they're gonna show the world that the
This
Bears
is
do not
probably going to
deserve to be
be
in the playoffs.
this is my other game that I think is going to be a blowout.
I could see it. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, for me, I definitely see the Bills Colts game being a blowout. I definitely see the Bucks Washington. The the Bucks Washington, I don't see that game being a blowout until later.
Like
Like I
later in the
think,
game.
yeah, later in the game. Like I think like the first quarter, first half, they're gonna stick close, and then I think it's gonna be in the second half the Bucks break away.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but
Well, we'll
From
see.
the Saints from the get go,
Yeah, this game
yeah,
is going to be
are
bad.
gonna, yeah. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, and then last game, Steelers Browns in Pittsburgh. What do you think?
So we actually do defer on this game. I got Cleveland winning surprisingly. I
Really,
think they're actually I actually think they're going to upset the Steelers. Believe it or not.
with Kevin Stefanski out, like the head coach out, you think so?
I still got the Browns, man. I don't know. There's something telling me the football gods must be communicating with me telepathically. For some reason, it's just like I don't know the Browns. I like the Browns this year, and the Steelers.
I mean, look, I like the
No,
Browns this year too. It's just
no, I get that. I get that. But the Steelers, listen, I will say the Steelers. They've been able to handle business when they need to. They know they're an experienced team. It's Tomlin and Roethlisberger. They've been to the playoffs countless times. But but I don't know. I don't for some reason I can't say that the Steelers are going to win this game for some. I don't know why. I like the Browns for some reason to win this, but I
for
don't know.
for me, I just don't like the fact that the Browns only won by 2 against Mason Rudolph starting, and not only do they have that going against them, they only won by 2 against the backup quarterback. The Steelers have always dominated the Browns they've always been in control of the Browns for years, you know. And when they first played each other this year, the Steelers slacked the Browns. They
They did.
destroyed them, you know. I'm not saying that they could, but even if they do beat them by multiple possessions, it's not going to be as bad as that first win for the Steelers. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's just yeah, I don't like the fact that the Browns barely beat the Steelers with a backup quarterback, and now their freaking special teams coach has to be the head coach for this game. I don't like that, and it's
I
in
know.
Pittsburgh too.
Listen,
So
listen. No, no, trust
as
me, trust
much
me.
as I'm rooting for the Browns. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for the Browns to win this game, but I think the Steelers are going to win.
I know. I know there's a lot of factors that go against my logic of of how the Browns will win because like all those points they're all extremely valid points. Like they're not gonna have their head coach. It's in Pittsburgh. They're facing a fully loaded Steelers team. I don't know. I for some reason I just have a gut feeling that the Browns are probably might pull this off. and I think they will, man. I don't know how or why, but I have a feeling that the Browns are gonna win this. I do. I really do. I like the Browns,
I mean,
man.
I
Their
hope you're
offense is
right.
good.
I mean, hey, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I think I have very valid points, as you said I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think I'm gonna be wrong.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
All right. Those are our wild card round predictions. I'm so used to saying our week 15 or week 16 predictions. This is nice to say our wild card round predictions. This
Our
is nice.
wild card round.
Yeah.
Super wild card.
Super wild card, right? I think Nickelodeon is gonna be like hosting one of the games or something. It's gonna be like the little slime things featured on
That's
like.
gonna be. You know, I might actually tune in. I might tune into Nickelodeon just for a second. Just I want to see that. I want to see that shit.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, shall we get into sorry, to explain to you guys, the audience. So I actually created a little PowerPoint where I created the bracket for this year's playoffs. And I typed in my predictions for how the entire playoffs is going to play out. And then Adon typed in his, well, I typed it in for, but you know, Adon's got his predictions in. So we're going to take a look at that and see, just to show you. So here, let me move this over to the side. All right, so this is my prediction. I already went into the wild card round. So this is AFC. This is the matchup I have predicted, the divisional round. Right here, Titans going into Kansas City playing them. Pittsburgh goes to Buffalo, plays them. And then I got the Bills beating the Steelers handedly, actually. And going to the AFC Championship, and Chiefs going. And then I don't like to say the Chiefs are gonna go to the Super Bowl, and also, as you can see here, I have them as champion. I don't want to. It's just the Chiefs have just been blessed with so much luck. It's ridiculous. They've got like the football gods just don't want the Chiefs to lose for some reason, man. It's stupid. It's stupid because the Chiefs have not been playing to the level that they can play. They're honestly right now overrated, but the football gods are on their side, and I hate it. I would like ideally I want the Bills or the Browns to be in the Super Bowl, or the Titans. But for me personally, the Bills, just because of how they deserve it. They really do. And I'm not saying they can't beat the Chiefs, you know, but I just don't think so because the football gods have been, okay, Andy Reid, okay, Mahomes, there you go. Here's another win. Enjoy it. All right, the number one seed, there you go. Okay. And it's ridiculous. On the other end, I have a huge surprising prediction. Oh, sorry. The Buccaneers go all the way to the Super Bowl and upset the Packers in the divisional round in Green Bay. For the reason I think the Buccaneers, I mean, hey, I could very well be wrong, and the Packers could very well win that game, no doubt. But the thing is, I think if there's one team in the NFC that can go to Green Bay and upset the Packers, it's the Bucs. The only team. And the way they've been playing, I like it. And the reason why I have the Bucs beating the Saints in the division, in the NFC Championship, is because the Saints never win the NFC Championship anymore. The only year they did it was the Super Bowl, but they always get terrible luck now in the NFC Championship, and I think that's going to plague them again. And a lot of people are not going to want to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, but I think the football gods are going to say, "Hey, you have to endure it one more time." And for me, I really would. I actually would like a Chief. If there's one team, I hope the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl. It's the Bucs, because for me, it's the perfect it's such a good story because Tom Brady's going to retire either after this year or the next year, right? And Tom Brady was, the quarterback of probably the best dynasty ever in football, right? And Mahomes, and Tom Brady is arguably probably the greatest quarterback of all time right now. And Mahomes is the quarterback that now can overtake that title and create a new dynasty. And it's very fitting that if the Chiefs were to beat the Bucs in the Super Bowl, it's very fitting because the last team to win back-to-back Super Bowls was the 03 and 04 Patriots, Tom Brady. And I think it's just super fitting if the next dynasty starts with Mahomes beating Brady in a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, being back-to-back Super Bowl champions. So that's another basis for kind of my predictions. But let's go over into a Don's playoff bracket, and we'll update these as the weeks go by. We'll give new predictions, based off of who wins this weekend. Who knows? There could be some huge upsets. Me and Don just totally aren't predicting. Who knows? But we'll keep it updated. But let's see Don's. So there's actually not much change.
No, there's change.
Well, there is change. There is change.
There's lots of change. I got the I mean, so we already predicted the wild card round, so we're gonna start the divisional round. So we got Ravens, Bills. Now as much as Buffalo. I like the Ravens, in Buffalo, which is a big factor. As much as I like the Ravens and how much I do root for them, and how I do think they're gonna beat the Titans, they're the Bills with except the Chiefs. They could probably beat any other AFC team, even though the Titans whooped their ass earlier this year. If they faced off again today, I'd probably have the Bills beating them.
Oh, for sure. Me too.
So I got the Bills beating the Ravens, and then down there, I mean, the Browns. I mean, obviously, I predicted that the Browns are going to sneak their way into the divisional, but that would make them the lowest seed, thus making them face the juggernauts, basically. And obviously, the Chiefs are going to. Now, here's the thing: I wouldn't even say the Chiefs would even blow them out, but I know that somehow they'd probably win, even if it is a close game. They'd probably win, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Chiefs Bills. We both have that. Both have that AFC Championship prediction. It's the football gods. The Chiefs don't lose. The Chiefs just don't lose for some reason.
Don't.
No matter what. And the Bills are loaded, and the Chiefs are probably still gonna win that game.
So, I think the Bills are the better team right now. But the Chiefs are just gonna be the football gods are gonna be like, here, okay, Chiefs, here today you're actually gonna play really good for some reason, and come out with the win. Or the other team's going to play really bad, play down at your level.
The Chiefs are definitely going to be the AFC represent in the Super Bowl. Jumping to the NFC, so let's start with the Seahawks Saints. Man, it's just the Seahawks are too inconsistent, and if there's a team you can't be inconsistent with, it's the Saints, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They're gonna probably have all their weapons. They're gonna have Kamara. They're gonna have Michael Thomas by then. It's gonna be too much, especially for the terrible Seahawks defense. I mean, the Seahawks defense when they're facing a team like this, because we haven't really seen the Seahawks face that many we haven't really seen them face that many elite teams in the NFC.
Yeah, we haven't.
So this is gonna be their first time. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but. I think the game will be pretty much settled by the third quarter.
I can see that.
So I got the Saints moving on.
I have the Saints.
I really defer with Avery. I know I do understand his logic because I agree. I think Tampa Bay, because it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady, and it doesn't matter if it's in Green Bay because Tom Brady's a guy. He's lived through snow, hail, blizzards, wind chill. He's done it all. So I don't even think that Lambeau Field would even be that big of a home field advantage. But I think Packers
for the Packers versus the Bucks in particular.
Aaron Rodgers to me is the runaway MVP, and their offense is too much right now. And I think their defense has been playing fantastic recently too. I mean, so I think the Packers are easily going to take that. Not easily, but I think they'll be able to win handily.
That would be a revenge win for the Packers because the Bucks annihilated the Packers earlier in the season. Handed them their first loss, actually.
I wouldn't even be surprised if the Packers blew them out, if I'm being honest. I really wouldn't.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. And then Saints Packers, we saw it earlier. If anything, I think the Packers were even a better team than what they were in week 3. I think that was. I think it was week 3.
No, when the Packers lost to when the Packers beat the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. It was like week 3. It was week
Yeah,
3.
so I think the Packers are even a better team than that, and they won that game like pretty handily too. So, and by the way, it's a dome team in cold weather. It's never a good matchup. So
It isn't.
I think the Packers win that, and then I got Chiefs Packers, basically the State Farm Super Bowl. Like, this
Oh my
this game's
gosh,
gonna
it
make
would be the State Farm
it's
Super
gonna
Bowl
make
if that
State
happened.
Farm so much money.
Oh
You
my
don't
gosh.
understand.
Oh,
Everyone's gonna register with insurance with State Farm
oh
during
my
these
God,
two
that's
weeks.
so true.
So, and I'm excited for this matchup in particular because kind of like with him, with Avery's side of it's like a passing of the torch moment. I consider this just literally. I think it's a combination or a matchup of literally the two most talented passers that the NFL has ever seen. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback legend, and Mahomes is turning. He's well on his way to being the quarterback legend, and these two are the most. Their talent is just outrageous because I just think like these quarterbacks come once in a decade, and they've never faced off. I mean, they were supposed to face off last year, but Mahomes got injured, so we just saw Green Bay against some who I mean, who even knows who their backup was last year.
Yeah.
But I think this matchup is so much more like. First of all, I think it's realistic, obviously, just in my opinion. But I think it's even more intriguing too, just because we've never seen it. I think it's a perfect Super Bowl, especially since this was the Chiefs Packers was the first Super Bowl ever.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I
It's
think,
true.
but yeah, at the end of the day, even though I just said the Packers are basically unbeatable and can blow out pretty much anybody, they're against the Chiefs. It doesn't even matter.
And
It's
also,
the Chiefs. Yeah.
MVP curse. If me and you, I think, agree that Aaron Rodgers should win MVP this season.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that too. MVP curse. The season MVP just does not win the Super Bowl. Doesn't happen. The last player to do it was Kurt Warner in '99. He was the last player to win both the regular season MVP and the Super Bowl in the same season. Last person to do it. Ever since, every MVP winner, whether they went to the Super Bowl or not that season, did not win the Super Bowl. So MVP curse also goes against the Packers if it's a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl.
That is crazy. Even though I don't even think that, even though I don't think that, I'm not the most.
I think that's a huge factor.
I'm not the most spiritual person, so I don't really think that's
me neither. Except for that, that's like one of the very few things I am about.
Yeah, but yeah, I got the Chiefs winning. I think that's going to be a great game. Yeah. Chiefs versus Packers is an amazing matchup.
It is. So, it is. I would not like. I think the Bucks, and I would really like a Chiefs Bucks Super Bowl because the passing of the torch scenario I was telling you guys about. But if it was a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl, I would not be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, I'll stop screen sharing because that's the last we had to show you guys. But that concludes our first Thunderbird podcast. Yeah, it's nice finally be doing
first
this.
One.
Yeah, gosh, it was a long one. They will be shorter because the playoffs. Not much games to break down.
Less games to cover.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what we got. That's what you guys can be expecting for the next few weeks is breaking down the playoffs and how it all turns out. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, sorry for this one being so long, but hey, welcome to the Thunderbird Podcast.
If you sat through this whole thing, we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you if you sat through all of this.
Yeah, truly.
We appreciate it. We're literally just starting out. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, man, I had fun. I mean,
me
this
too.
Was great. This is great as any conversation we've had before.
Yeah, so Adon and I have been kind of already doing this. Just I hadn't had the podcast stuff for a while, and I finally got it for Christmas. And so so we were already doing these types of talks, but to finally be doing it in the podcast, it's awesome, and we appreciate the views and the support. It's not even like that huge of a deal right now to me, but it's just the fact that if there's anybody, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like me and Avery, we're more so just doing this just for fun, just because we started with me. Fuck it, what I'm saying? Like, we have good conversations. Might as well put them out on the internet for the world to hear, whether they want to hear it or not. Who gives a fuck? We're doing it. We had fun.
Yeah.
And we can only continue just to keep putting out stuff for you guys. So. Yeah, and we should we'll make a social media page on on Instagram. We're just starting up the YouTube channel right now. Just getting into the swing of things. So yeah, you guys should see some of that in the next couple of days. But yeah, thank you so much, Avery. Any closing words for the audience?
No, just once again, thank you guys very much. You are all awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes it for the Thunderbird podcast.